They knew that their team has been playing well ever since that loss to Auburn. Their defense has gotten better, and now we're seeing this young man get a little more confidence. Gable and McFoy back for USC. That's C.J. Gable, a true freshman. Say goodbye to that one out of the end zone. Tonight's Scholar Athletes of the Game were brought to you by TIAA Prep, and for USC, Brandon Hancock, the injured fullback, 3.91 communications major out of Fresno, and of course the quarterback for Washington State, Alex Brink, over 3.5. He's a sports management major from Eugene, Oregon. And you look at Hancock, one of 3 fullbacks that are out for this USC team.
Yeah, and then you have to add in Herschel Dennis at the tailback spot, right? Dwayne Jarrett, not here, didn't travel with the team, the All-American wide receiver.
Washington, straight ahead running up over the 25 to about the 27. Going back to the fullbacks, this is what's happened when they have a torn ligament by Hancock, dislocated fracture ankle, Paldrell. Havili broke his leg last week, and he had a huge game last week receiving.
That was his first start, Stanley Havili. Ryan Paldrell, who's played linebacker and fullback and a little bit of tailback, horrible injury, and Brandon Hancock. He's actually talking about coming back for a bowl game, working out so well, rehabilitating his knee.
Well, Pete says losing the fullbacks doesn't change their offense at all. Throw it onto the flat, pass is complete. Smith gets away from the first tackler, steps out of bounds at about the 36-yard line, we'll call it. Hussein Abdullah on the tackle. Brother, of course, Hamza, played at Washington State, also the member of the Denver Broncos now, and he's actually here at the game.
Now, did Steve Smith's knee touch, or did it stay up?
Ooh.
That's it. One more time. One more time.
He's down.
I think he's down. But he's so quick.
They're not challenging it.
No challenge at all. He's so quick, Ron, he was able to sell it.
Right in front of Washington State's bench, too. Straight ahead running. Pick up of about 4 on the play. Washington again.
You know, you talk about Steve Smith. We came into the game saying who would step up for Dwayne Jarrett. Would it be Patrick Turner, the freshman? All right, Craig Sager talked with Pete Carroll on the sideline. Pete mentioned Ryan McFoy. I think Steve Smith's thinking tonight, have you forgotten that I'm a premier receiver? I caught 3 touchdowns in the Orange Bowl in the national championship game. I caught 2 on 3 catches last year against Washington State.
Second and 7, penalty flag thrown. They tried to get the pass to Turner, but we had a penalty flag before they even left the line of scrimmage. Tyron Breckenridge is on the coverage.
Offside on the defense. Number 94 moved into the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, still second out.
And Christo Bruce. We've seen a move on both sides of the line because everybody thought it'd be the Sam Baker-Bruce battle. But right now we've seen what Bill Doba has done, and also Rob Akey, their defensive coordinator. You see there, they're moving him on different sides.
I think they're going to try and get the best matchup, and to me, his best matchup is against Kyle Williams, number 78. Sam Baker's forte is pass protection, second and short. This is a good time if you want to strike it for USC.
Instead, they give it to Mooney. Hit behind the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped. The first hit came from Steve Dildine, the senior out of Graham, Washington, from that linebacker spot, his second tackle of the night.
And what he did so well was he stayed at home. Look to the right side of your screen because it's a cutback run by Emmanuel Moody. But Steve Dildine did not overrun the play in pursuit. Stayed in his responsibility area and was able to make the play.
Third down at 3 as Smith goes wide to the right, Turner to the near side. Washington State brings 4. Booty, the quick out, pass caught. First down to Chris McFoy.
That was caught by number 82, Chris McFoy.
It is a perfect night for football in Pullman, Washington, and that's where we are right now as the number 2 team in the country, USC, leads the Cougars of Washington State 7-6. Along with Charles Davis and Craig Sager, I'm Ron Thulin, welcoming you to a game that's got a lot of flavor and a lot of red jerseys out in the stands tonight. This is like a Nebraska game almost.
The predominant color for both squads.
And now
Different
Washington.
shades of red.
There you go, Washington, 1st and 10 back in the backfield. Thompson and Davis, 2 tight ends. Booty looking down the middle, has a man, Smith caught inside the 20, inside the 10, knocked out of bounds at the 3-yard line.
Pass complete to Steve Smith, number 2.
Smith's 3rd catch of the night. Perfect pass, though, by John David Booty.
John David Booty, the number 2.
The difference here, Ron, you remember earlier when Steve Smith broke open and John David Booty threw the ball on the line and it hit the DB in the back? Remember that?
Yep.
On this play, he had so much time, it allowed Steve Smith to clear the middle and took him away from traffic, and John David Booty able to put it on the line.
Close to the goal line, Washington, I should say, touchdown USC.
Watch everyone. That time they pulled Drew Radovich, number 60, on a trap block. And that was just good, hard running by Chauncey Washington. He's the thumper at tailback that Pete Carroll's been looking to have. All right, he's the guy that he wants in there, kind of that Lendale White sort to get the tough yards inside.
12 for 13 on the year for Danilo. Of course, his dad played in the National Football League. Good snap, chip shot kick. And it is good. Chauncey Washington, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the year, and USC goes back up 14-6. College football on TBS, brought to you by Vegas.com. For the best deals on Vegas rooms, shows, and more, book now at Vegas.com. And by New York Life, the company you keep. And I have a feeling those kids that are in that class are here tonight. It's a sellout at Martin Stadium.
Hey, Ron, did you recognize that?
No.
That was a classroom.
Oh, yeah.
You and I were like, hey, what is that?
We didn't have those. Gibson and Utsana back for Washington State. They trail 14-6. They should just join us. They opened up the scoring with a field goal, took a 3-0 lead. USC marched right back, made it 7-3. Another Cougar field goal, cut it to 1. USC just added another touchdown. That's where we are right now. Line drive, end-over-end kick. 8 yards deep. Gibson's going to take a seat. Let's check in with Mark Fine. A little bit of Oregon, Arizona State. Mark.
Yeah, mostly Oregon in this one, Ron. Unbelievable. They really rolled. First game since the controversy, of course, Dennis Dixon to Jordan Kent. 3 touchdown passes for Dixon in this one. 48-13 the final. Back to you guys.
I'll tell you what, we talked about it when Arizona State played Colorado on TBS a couple of weeks ago. This 3-game stretch for Arizona State, they had the possibility of dropping all 3. And now they're really looking at it.
I thought that they would, just because of the competition. And so far, they're 0-2. And you know they get next week? USC rolls into town. It's a tough matchup for anyone, as we well know.
Let's see the patience of Washington State. Plenty of time here in the opening half. Great. Looks, sets up the screen. Utsana can't hold on to it. One of the things we talked about to Mike Levenseller, the offensive coordinator, former Washington State quarterback, is play calling and the evolution of play calling.
Yeah, and look at what they've done early in the game. We talked about how they showed different formations early. There's the bunch, trips, empty set. All right, we've seen all of that and more from Washington State. And the way they've tried to cut down on the pass rush with 3-step drops, screens, draws, and that screen that went for naught. Tim Rosenbaum, the quarterback's coach, calls plays, will cap that after this play.
Andre Woolridge, a sophomore from Keller, Texas, now in the backfield. He's got a little Robert Newhouse body and the legs. He's got the first down, crosses the 30. Mamaluga on the stop. And you were talking about the play calling because Levenseller just basically gave him the play calling.
Yeah, when you think of a team, you hear offensive coordinator, you think he's the play caller. Mike Levenseller had been, but when Tim Rosenbaum joined the staff, Mike Levenseller said he found himself deferring more and more to Rosenbaum, former NFL quarterback, who has a great feel for the game, understands what needs to be done and how to call plays. And in the 2003 season, about midway through, he just said, you need to take this. That tells you the lack of ego of Mike Levenseller. It's all about trying to get W's.
And he says Tim's got a great feel to call the game. USC USC shows the blitz. They throw it out of the flat. Gibson's got it. Close to a first down, about a half a yard short. Great read, though, by Alex Brink. Remember in the lineups, we talked about how this guy comes to the line of scrimmage. He makes plays before the snap. We saw it right there.
Gets his preset read, analyzes the defense, gets them into a better play if he doesn't like what is called. And so far, he's been very sharp tonight. Not a lot of yards because most of his throws have been the short three-step variety. But he's been very accurate.
But that's how you beat this rush.
Well, that's how you have to try and slow it down. Draws, screens, misdirection, a three-step drop game.
And it gets you a 2nd and 1. Woolridge got the first down. Up to the 44-yard line. Pick up of about 2 on the play. Heath Rivers from the linebacker spot coming up to make the stop. 1st and 10 with 8:49 to play in the opening half.
You know what else it does, Ron? It takes the pressure off of your rebuild offensive line.
Right.
Deshaun O'Connor's normally a guard. He's out at tackle. Dan Rollins have been splitting time at the other guard. Andy Rook's back from a broken thumb. Kenny Alfred, this is his first start ever as a center.
Will Bumpus Gibson bunched to the near side. Here comes USC on the blitz again. Look out, little alley-oop, back to Brink. He wants to throw it again. Down the middle, pass tipped incomplete. We saw this the other day in practice. It was intended for Brandon Gibson. Taylor Mays, the true freshman out of Seattle, Washington, on the coverage. USC didn't buy it, though.
Well, what happened was the whole timing of the play was chipped. And here's where it was chipped. Because Ray Malaluga, number 58, was in the backfield, and then he got pressure in his face, and the defensive backs were never fooled. Terrell Thomas, if he had not tripped and fallen down, he probably had an interception, and number 29, Taylor Mays, was right on the coverage, too.
That's not probably the last trick play we'll see tonight by Washington State.
I think they might run a few others, but not that long in taking to be put out there.
Well, this time Brink just throws it out of the flat. A safe pass caught by Jason Hill. That is Hill's 3rd reception of the night.
Picked up 4.
Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa.
Big time pass rush coming. Offensive line must hold in there for Alex Brink. Give him a chance.
Bumpus is in the slot on 3rd and 6. They bring 5. They read it. Get it to Bumpus. Gets up to the 50. He'll be about 3 yards short of the first down. Terrell Thomas on the coverage and on the stop. And they're going to kick it away.
Yeah, well, great play by Terrell Thomas, number 28. You know why? Never retreated. Okay? He studied the first down line, saw the play in front of him, and just drove on the ball on the quick 3-step drop slant route. Made the nice tackle, forcing the punt.
3rd punt for Blunt. Reed is back. Reed signaling for the fair catch at the 10. Lost the ball. They blew the whistle. Yes. Before the ball even was caught, the whistle was blowing. Luckily, he recovered it.
And even if he hadn't, the play was dead, right?
Dead ball. 40-yard kick. USC will take over at about the 9-yard line. 7:03 left before halftime. 14-6, USC leading Washington State. 7:03 to play before the first half. We'll get back to that punt in a moment as we look at John David Booty, 8 of 10 tonight, 129 yards, has thrown a touchdown, has a couple of passes, long ones. One is 49 yards.
The true freshman Vidal Hazelton into the ball game now as a wide receiver.
Moody's in the backfield. He has the football. Hit right at the 8-yard line. Maybe got to the line of scrimmage. The reason this was so dangerous on the punt, because if after the fumble Washington State would have recovered, it would have been USC's ball because the play was dead.
Yeah, the whistle is clear. And fortunately for USC, they recovered. But as you said, Ron, if Washington State had recovered, the ball still would have been USC's because of the inadvertent whistle.
Vidal Hazelton, the true freshman, as Charles mentioned, wide to the right. They keep it on the ground. Washington up over the 15 to the 18-yard line. Steve Dildine, his 4th tackle already on the evening.
That was a really good run inside.
Oh, yeah.
You know, everybody, we always like to see the big break-in play, the 40, 50, 60-yarder. But that was a tough, hard run inside. Picked up one good block early and then made his way pretty much by himself to bring up 3rd and short.
Brittingham and Washington now in the backfield. Couple of tight ends to join him. Washington, no penalty flag, hang on to everything. Craig Sager, how about a injury report from Washington State?
Well, it's not a good one. They're playing defense with Mew. He missed games before with a fractured foot, had a screw inserted, was given the okay to play. However, he has developed some type of a stress fracture right now, experiencing a lot of pain. He's out of the game.
That's a big loss because they were glad to be getting him back and they thought he was healthy.
Well, the good thing is Aaron Johnson's a 2-year starter. He can move into the lineup and give them good production too.
He only had a couple of sacks already this year. 3rd down and 6 now, inside of 5.5 to play. C.J. Gable in the backfield. Washington State backs up. Booty, 3-step drop, quick look in, wide open. 1st down to Smith again. Over the 30 up to the 34-yard line. Pickup of 21 on the play.
Right now, Steve Smith is saying to everyone, remember me? What's my name? He has really come out and played well this evening. Dwayne Jarrett's not here, but look at that. That's not a bad career, is it? 135 catches, over 2,000 yards. He's 9th all-time at USC in receptions, and he's more than picking up the slack of Dwayne Jarrett in the early going this evening.
Already over the century mark in yards, his 7th 100 career day. Booty looking deep into the flat, pass is incomplete and intended for Trayvon Patterson, the true freshman out of Long Beach, California. Eric Frampton on the coverage.
And excellent coverage it was by Eric Frampton.
You know, I want to talk about John David Booty. We look at Carson Palmer, we look at Matt Leinart. Now we look at the poise of this young man. They all 3 had something in common, Charles, and people forget that.
A quarterback coach by the name of Steve Sarkisian, who tutored all of them and helped them expand and grow their games. You know, it's no accident, as Lane Kiffin, the offensive coordinator, told us, that these guys develop under the excellent tutelage of Sarkisian.
2nd and 10. Gable looking for something. Up to the 35-yard line, pickup of 2. Booty, the junior out of Shreveport, Louisiana. This is some of the poise that this man has had this year.
Yeah, as you mentioned at the top of the show, he had to wait 4 years for this opportunity. And remember, he thought he was going to get the job last year, but Matt Leinart surprised everyone and came back to school. That had to be probably be the toughest time for him to decide whether to remain a Trojan or leave this program. And he decided to stay. And I think everyone in the land of Troy is excited about it. As Steve Sarkisian, the wide receiver coach there.
3rd down and 8, a big 3rd down for the Washington State defense. Booty sees a 3-man rush, dumps it underneath the coverage. Turner dropped short of the 1st down by about 5. Greg Trent, the sophomore out of Keller, Texas. All Pac-10 freshman team last year on the stop. That's a guy that last year was thrown into the fire, and he said, I blame myself for a lot of the losses. I stunk on pass coverage.
Well, he was trying his best just to survive, let alone get calls, get guys into the right spot. And he's really come a long way, and they say mentally, he's totally in the game now. And that was a nice physical play he just made on 3rd down.
Only Woidnick's 2nd punt, it's off the side of his foot. Takes a hop at the 25-yard line, goes down to the 23-yard line, and that's where Washington State will take over 35 yards on the kick. Let's take a look at our KFC Bowl poll question. How many Pac-10 schools will make a bowl game? 4, 5, 6 or more. A, B, or C. Fans, text your vote A, B, or C to 88222 right now. So Washington State, pretty big stop for them, Charles, because now they've got 3:23 to try to get something going. Only a couple of field goals, and Christo Bruce and the defense have done their job. They've held USC 185 yards in this first half so far.
They gave up a little bit of field position because they had USC really backed up. But they've got to be happy. No points given up. They've got the football back in decent field position.
Usana Jumps over one of his own men, gets up to about the 30-yard line, picked up a 4 on the play. Clock goes to 3 minutes in the first half. Kyle Moore, his first tackle of the night. Sophomore out of Kathleen, Georgia.
It's a key down in this drive, Ron, as the clock ticks under 3 minutes. USC's defense, if they can make a big play here, they might start thinking about a little clock management themselves in order to try and get the ball back before the half ends.
Gibson, Bumpus, Hill to the near side. Great. Looking, has Tardy as a safety valve. He doesn't mind running. He does. Dives for the first down. Takes a shot by Terrell Thomas, but he should have the first down. That's one of the things that it looks like Thomas may have gotten the worst of it. One of the things that coaches were telling us, he doesn't like to slide.
No, and what a nice play by Alex Brink, the quarterback, because he goes left, and he could have tossed the ball to Tardy in the flat, but he decided to use him as a blocker. Oh, nice job there by Dwight Tardy. Excellent block on Kyle Moore, number 84. I love the way that Alex Brink lowers his head and finds the first down marker. That's leadership.
Well, he has 89 yards throwing. That's what he had the entire game last year, and USC, he's going to call a timeout.
I've been a little confused on defense.
And we've got a timeout with 2:08 left in the half. Let's check in with Mark Fine back in Atlanta. Mark.
Well, we are working frantically, Ron, because we got the Singular Wireless halftime report coming up. The Yellow Jackets at Virginia Tech looking for an upset. Great game. Ohio State looking for a win at Iowa. Now, they were beat there 2 years ago. And Michigan and Minnesota, two teams made up of very large men fighting for a very little brown jug. All that and more ahead on the Singular Wireless halftime report. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much, Mark. This telecast is a copyrighted presentation of the Washington State University, a member of the Pac-10 Conference. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of Washington State University or the Pac-10 Conference.
Hey, did Mark forget that Tennessee played earlier today?
Who?
You know, they beat Memphis State today. I know, I'm sorry, it's the University of Memphis.
There you go.
But old habits die hard, right?
I know. Well, the fans here, they love their football team, and right now they've got 2:08 to go in the first half. They're within 8 of the number 2 team in the country. Tardy's in the backfield. On 1st and 10, little play action again. Brink steps up in the pocket. Floats this one, looks like a wounded duck. Penalty flag. That's going to be pass interference. Taylor Mays, the true freshman, is going to be the culprit out of Seattle, Washington. That ball didn't have a chance, though, Charles. That started wobbling at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think he had someone in his face as he tried to deliver the pass.
Pass interference on the defense, number 29. 15-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
Went for their playmaker, Jason Hill. Nicely done, and this call is excellent because Taylor Mays gets there, gets a forearm and a shoulder into the receiver, knocking him off stride and off balance. Nice job by the back judge, David Lambros, all over the call.
Now can Washington State take advantage of it? They're in USC territory. Look at the numbers on Mays. Keep an eye on this young man. He's another one of those prep All-Americans. Got a great future for the Trojans. But can Washington State take advantage? Hill comes to the near side. 2:01 to play in the first half. Tardy cuts back inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. Pick up a 4. Luga on the stop, Charles.
Ron, you talked about can they take advantage. Well, I think that Washington State's confidence is fine, even if they don't score here. To me, the drive's not that important in terms of scoring.
But you play it safe not to have anything bad happen?
Make sure nothing bad happens.
Yeah.
But here's the key. If they do score, it sends a message to USC that, hey, we're not going away here.
Yeah.
We're here for the duration.
A 2nd down and 6. Here comes USC. Great look and throws a deep out. Caught. Gibson inside the 25-yard line. They'll mark it at the 21-yard line.
But he didn't get out of bounds. They were supposed to. I thought they were going to keep the clock going. I guess they got to stop it now for the first down and reset the chains. That's why the clock stopped here.
Dallas Sarch was one-on-one with Gibson out there, the linebacker on Gibson. That's a tough cover.
Tough matchup. I don't care how good a cover guy you are. Dallas Sarge works with the secondary too. But it's a tough matchup to go against a jitterbug wide receiver. And that was a big play for Washington State.
Kyle Moore comes in. Lawrence Jackson comes out on the defensive line for USC. 107, clock is moving. Break. Straight drop. Here comes the pressure. Looking. Tries to throw it away. Pass is incomplete. Bumpus was sitting on his Bumpus. Couldn't come up with it.
They couldn't get the ball to pinball in open space that would allow him to catch it and make a second move. He was trying to catch it going out of bounds.
I think he may have been looking for Jed Collins, one of the tight ends on that pattern, but then the rush came and he had to go to plan B. Now Hill goes wide to the left. Collins at the tight end position on the left side, Bumpus near side.
There's the guy that's a big playmaker at wide receiver.
On the ground. Tardy breaks it. Inside the 5, down to the 3-yard line. First and goal, Washington State. Bill Doble wants to get the timeout with 53 seconds left, and that's what he's going to get. But what an effort by the redshirt freshman, Dwight Tardy.
Look at the blocking. Nice job again by Kenny Alford, number 69, the center, because he moved the nose tackle, Fili Moala, out of the way and opens up a lane for Dwight Tardy. A 19-yard run. See that right in front of you? He took 75 out of the play. And then the rest of the guys walled off the defenders from USC. Tardy trying to make the cut to get into the end zone before Kerry Harris knocks him down.
Log on to Rivals.com and ask Charles Davis a question. Find Ask Charles only on Rivals.com, your online home for college football. Now, instead of asking Charles, let's ask Craig Sager what he's got. Thanks.
Well, Washington State's wearing new uniforms today, and they're more than just a fashion statement. Worn today for the first time anywhere, the material is a breakthrough both in safety and in comfort. It's a patented material made by Russell, whisking away moisture from the body, which accelerates cooling, and the compression fit also alleviates muscle strain. On top of that, it's made of a fabric that makes it difficult to grab. It may not have the impact of those old tearaway jerseys that frustrated Charles Davis as a defensive back in his day, but it's definitely putting the Washington State Cougars in vogue today.
Hey, Sags, let me tell you something. I did not need tearaway jerseys to miss tackles, okay? I could grab air with the best of them.
Well, that's one thing USC's had problems with on this drive. They had the 22-yard play by Gibson for Washington State, the 19-yarder by Tardy. 2 big plays in this drive, plus the pass interference penalty. First and goal from the 2.
And now, Ron, anything less than 6 points is a disappointment for Washington State.
3 tight ends. They give it to Hill. Tries to get back to the original line of scrimmage. No way. Dallas Sarch is the one who had the penetration. He's going to lose a yard. And we're going to have another timeout with 46 seconds left.
Well played by Dallas Sarch. Watch to the top of your screen, number 42. He made sure he turned the play inside. That's called spilling a play. Even if you missed the tackle, which frustrated Dallas Sarch, he spilled it where the help was. Coming inside out, his defensive line.
College football on TBS continues next Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern, as Chase Daniel and the Missouri Tigers travel to Lubbock, Texas to take on Graham Harrell and the high-powered offensive Texas Tech. Both winners today. TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. Next Saturday, 7 o'clock. Missouri undefeated under Gary Pinkel this year. Good start for them. We'll be there.
Is that their first 5-0 start since 1981, I believe?
You got it.
So they got to be happy in Columbia, Missouri tonight.
Well, there is young Lauren Longley, the junior. Already a couple of field goals tonight. His confidence is built. But, Charles, I think you hit it on the head. You've got to get 6 in this situation. You're playing the number 2 team in the country.
Field goals aren't going to cut it.
We saw that last week with UCLA.
I mean, they only give up 9 points per ball game. You have a chance to go past that number here in the first half. They need to find a way to get it in the end zone.
They're not afraid to throw it in this position. They go 4 wide receivers set. Second and goal from the 4. Brink looking, tries to force it inside to Gibson. Incomplete. He takes a shot. That'll bring up another down. Third down and goal. Taylor Mays on the coverage.
It's a tough one right into traffic with USC. And they covered it well. There's Keith Rivers, 55. Taylor Mays, 29. Ray Malaluga, number 58. Ball ready to lower the boom.
Third down and 4. Clock is stopped or goal from the 4. 42 seconds left.
Empty set again, Ron. What would you think about quarterback draw here with Alex Brink?
Why not? The splits are wide for USC, but instead he goes deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Jason Hill!
This is kind of showed slant and then went to the fade route. Great job because Terrell Thomas played the slant, but he wasn't able to play the second part. That's the old second move. And in that situation, Jason Hill, one of the most prolific wide receivers in Pac-10 history, adds another touchdown to his already lengthy resume.
His 4th touchdown reception of the year. He graduated 3.5 years. Still wanted to play for Washington State this year, and it's paying off with this. This is a big score for him.
A great job by the offensive line, allowing no penetration. All right, watch out here. Jason Hill is going to run stutter step here. Terrell Thomas thinks he's running a slant. Instead, he goes back up here. Because the protection's so good, a well-thrown ball by Alex Brink results in a touchdown.
Yeah, that little stutter right there about 2 yards in.
Little stutter froze the corner because he thought he was running a slant.
Now you look at the great receivers, you know, Dwayne Jarrett and Ken Marjoram both with 32 for Pac-10 all-time receiving touchdowns. But don't forget Jason Hill's just 3 behind those 2 prolific wide receivers.
And that's an updated number, correct?
That's an updated number.
I tell you, our guy's quick or what?
Not bad.
I mean, bang. Ball goes in the end zone. They already got the thing updated.
Now Washington State is going to go for 2. Both teams, by the way, with 1 timeout left. 14-12, USC by a deuce.
I understand why they're doing it. I've just never been a proponent of chasing points early in a ball game.
Yeah.
I would kick the extra point, make it a 1-point game.
Just for a confidence factor.
I mean, I just want to feel good at the end of my drive. Doesn't mean they won't still feel good though.
Yeah, interesting formation. With Boyd Gibson. Frank looking wide open in the end zone. Cody Boyd, he threw it away from him. He was wide open. Oh, that got away from Bildova.
Bunch formation, Cody Boyd, number 80. They don't even really look at him. They're looking at what they think are the bigger threats. The guys who catch it more often. Doesn't get much better than that. Was that ball tipped at all going through? Because it seemed to me it was a little bit behind him. Let's see.
No?
Nope.
Nope.
Just a little bit behind, and Cody Boyd unable to change direction quick enough and get there. But that's okay. Mike Levenseller, the offensive coordinator, they have to be happy.
Well, Alex Brink cannot be that happy with himself. That's me.
Yeah, the ball was behind.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback. He let his receiver know you did all the right things. I just didn't hit you, but you know what else he's saying? Next time I will.
That's exactly right. How many times have we seen that, though, where a quarterback has said, my bad, come back and done something well? Now Langley will kick it off. Now, if you're Washington State, you don't want to get too giddy here.
Already given up a big return on a kickoff earlier this game.
Bradford and Gable now back. Alan Bradford. They're going to hit a line driver. C.J. Gable from the 7. Takes a hit as he gets up to the 30-yard line, and that's where we'll have it with 28 seconds left. Once again, they have 1 timeout, as does Washington State. We have a penalty flag, though, back at the 37-yard line. And it's already saying decline it. We want the football.
Offside on the kicking team, number 22. 5-yard penalty will be added on to the return. First down.
Never understood how a guy can get offsides on a kickoff.
Just got to watch the ball, right? It's like Chris McFoy going to the locker room.
And they're just going to run straight ahead. That'll be close to another first down. Get up to about the 45, about a yard short.
See if they think about a timeout here.
Yeah, with 15 seconds left. Well, the Pac-10 is getting interesting. Oregon, I think, made a statement today. There's no question about it. You can look at there at 2-0 along with Cal, another impressive win. USC trying to join them. Washington, Tyrone Willingham, we saw what he did last week. Washington State trying to go 2-0, and it's going to be bunched up a little bit, Charles.
It is, and it's really too early to quote-unquote count teams out. But for my money, Oregon and California are the pursuers of USC right now. I think everyone else still has a chance to get into it. But to me, the top two teams after USC, Oregon and Cal, exactly as we thought going into this year.
You know, we had Cal a couple of weeks ago, and everybody was talking, oh, you know, they played so poorly at Tennessee. But Jeff Tedford has always kept such an even keel. He knew what he had to do. He really believed in his team, especially offensively. Look what that team has done now since then.
And what he realized in Knoxville, I think his team's a little bit shell-shocked. I mean, the first time you go into SEC territory in a long time as a ball club, that's a whole different world. And Tennessee had a lot to prove and a lot of talent, and they got the better of it. But I told my Tennessee people, let's see how Cal finishes things out. Yeah. I think that's a good football team you beat.
And I think so, too. John David Booty has completed 7 of his last 8 passes. No one has thrown over the top against Washington State so far this year. Booty, straight drop. Goes the deep out. That's going to be picked off at the 30-yard line. Tyron Brackenridge picks it off.
How about the coverage? It's too deep coverage called cover 2. You hear about it all the time. And what he did was sink on the route, meaning his coverage is a short zone, 5 yards, 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. He read the quarterback's eyes, sank on the route, and got in underneath it and was able to come up with the interception. Terrific job by Tyron Brackenridge. They call him Bossy because his grandmother called him Boss Hog as a kid. Well, Bossy just came up with a big play.
Well, he wore a white suit. Had a little kid, and I guess he was a little rotund, shall we say.
But don't call my house and try and get any pictures of me in a white suit either.
Yeah, no.
I'm not saying there are any.
Well, the interception came with 8 seconds left. Clock started at the change of possession. That's the way the first half is going to end. They both go through the same tunnel, so USC will go out first. They have the lead by 2. Here's Bill Dover with Craig Sager.
Well, Coach, they have the lead, but you have the momentum and the confidence. Talk about your team's performance in that half.
Well, I think they did well. We gave up. The thing we can't do is give up big plays. And we gave up 2 of them on their long touchdown, their long pass plays. If we get that corrected at halftime and there's underneath digs, I think we'll be okay.
All right, thanks a lot. 14-12, our score at intermission. When we come back, Mark Fine will have all the highlights from this afternoon's game. He'll be in the studio in Atlanta.
Mark Fine back in our Atlanta studios with your Singular Wireless halftime report. Our score at the half, USC up on Washington State 14-12. Well, the Florida Gators have a lot going for them. 6 straight wins, the SEC's leading passer, and the only Division I offense to average more than 285 yards passing and 175 yards rushing per game. Can't make a field goal or an extra point, but neither can their opponent today, Alabama. Both teams struggling in the kicking game. You know, not a whole lot of struggles for Steve Spurrier when he was at Florida, inducted to the Ring of Fame today. Wore his favorite shirt as well. No score, first quarter. Chris Leak, not ready for the snap, not looking like the number 5 team in the country. Prince Hall picks it up, and the big man's going to take it in. 51 yards for the score. Alabama up 7-0. Well, Leak going to try and make amends. A little swing pass here to Andre Caldwell. Caldwell's going to go 16 yards for the score. Now, you see him lose the ball. They'd review it, but it counts. 14-10, Florida with the lead. This would ice it. John Parker Wilson's 3rd interception of the game. Reggie Nelson's 4th interception in 5 games. Takes it all the way in for the score. 28-13 Gators with a very big win. How about Georgia Tech at number 10? Virginia Tech. What a game this was. Reggie Ball had already hooked up with Calvin Johnson for a score. The dynamic duo at it again. Johnson, 53 yards. Frank Beamer says he's the best receiver he's ever gone up against. 14-0, Georgia Tech. How about the running game? Tashard Choice, 105 yards rushing. Against Virginia Tech, that's like 305 yards rushing, 21-0, and the defense did it as well. Philip Wheeler with the sack. Gary Guyton picks it up, and he rambles all the way in for the score, 38 yards. 38-27, Georgia Tech with a big win. Mississippi State at number 10, LSU. Jamarcus Russell, the man in this one, finding Craig Davis 7-0. Russell again, looking for early Doucette at 1 point, 14 straight completions. That ties a school record. Doucette here, 37 yards for the score, 21-0. Tigers. Let's look at Russell yet one more time. 330 yards passing in the game. That's a career high. Dwayne Bowe on the receiving end here, 48-17, the final. Sam Houston State and number 7 Texas. Robert Killebrew's going to pick up the blocked punt. Well, Texas all over this one, 21-0 after that. And yet more, Colt McCoy to Nate Jones, 42-0. Texas up at the half. All right, when we come back, the number 1 team in the country, if they're going to win, well, they're going to have to do it in enemy territory, taking on Iowa. It's coming up on the Singular Wireless Halftime Report.
You're watching the Singular Wireless Halftime Report. Singular Wireless, raising the bar.
Mark 5 back at the Singular Wireless Halftime Report. Number 1 Ohio State and 13 Iowa. This should be a good one. Really just underway here. Troy Smith to Anthony Gonzalez. That made it 7-0. It's now 7-3. Ohio State with the lead. Again, we're first quarter there. 12 Oregon taking on Arizona State. This was supposed to be a close game. It wasn't. Dennis Dixon, 3 touchdown passes. That one to Jordan Kent, 48-13. The final there. How about Purdue and number 14 Notre Dame? The Fighting Irish still fighting for a little respect. Brady Quinn, 327 yards and 2 touchdowns. That one to Raymond McKnight, 35-21 Notre Dame. Number 6 Michigan and Minnesota. Chad Henne. This guy might be a Heisman Trophy candidate before all is said and done. Adrian Arrington for the score made it 7-0, and then Henne and Arrington would hook up yet one more time. This one a little bit longer, 37 yards for the score. Henne 6 of 8, 99 yards and the 2 touchdowns. John David Booty's got himself a touchdown. Chris McFoy on the receiving end here. USC with a slim lead on Washington State, 14-12. We've got more coming up on your Singular Wireless Halftime Report. Mark 5 back in our Atlanta studios with the Singular Wireless Halftime Report. Some more games from this afternoon. 18 Tennessee and Memphis. Eric Ainge, 324 yards and 4 touchdowns. Finds Robert Meacham there. He does a little dance and then takes it in for the score. 41-7. Tennessee with another big win. How about 24 Texas Tech at Texas A&M? 32 seconds to go. Graham Harrell, 391 yards passing, and that's your game-winning touchdown right there. Unbelievable to Robert Johnson. We'll have them next week against Missouri. And how about Houston at Miami? University of Miami trailing 13-7, but Kyle Wright finds James Bryant. And man, different days in Miami for sure. They're up 14-13 on Houston in the second half. All right, don't go anywhere. Washington State giving the Trojans all they can handle. It's straight ahead.
Thanks for watching the Singular Wireless Halftime Report. Text VOTE to 87654 and vote for the Singular All-America Player of the Week.
All right, I want to get you caught up on one more game before we get you out to Pullman, Washington. Clemson and Louisiana Tech. Will Proctor for Chancey Stuckey. 37-0 now. Clemson up as they have started the third quarter against Louisiana Tech. Again, Washington State and USC, second half, straight ahead.
I paid dues, my moves are made news. I'm smooth, my suede shoes, they new like Ray Blues.
Welcome back to TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. We are set to start the second half, and we've got a game with USC, the number 2 team in the country, holding out of that 2-point advantage over Washington State. Hello again, along with Charles Davis. I'm Ron Pullman. You know, the last couple of days, we always talked about how Alex Brink, the quarterback for Washington State, needed to play within the offense and manage the game. I think he'd get an A+ on that grade from the first half.
Without a doubt, because they've gotten the run game going for him, and he's been very efficient throwing the ball, not asking him to do too much. But when they do ask him to throw it, he's been on target.
Now let's take a look at some of the numbers and some of the highlights from the first half of play, and it was a good one at that, Charles.
It was, because when you look at the rush yardage, Washington State with 84 yards in the first half, USC's given up less than 61 all year long per ball game. Passing game, Washington State's been efficient. USC, the big strikes to Steve Smith over the middle, a big part of those 153 yards. 2 turnovers, Washington State to the good against USC. They've turned one of those turnovers into a field goal.
Let's check in with Craig Sager. What did Pete Carroll say?
Well, actually, he was a little perturbed about the way the situation went in the first half, not so much the score, but the fact that he said he only ran 23 plays on offense. He said the turnovers and the penalties meant that the offense didn't have a chance really to get on track. A couple of big plays. He goes, but 23 plays, that's not our game. We need the defense to do something, to turn the ball over, to give it back to our offense so we can actually play the game the way we know we can.
No, you're right, and he was way down in time of possession also, Six. He was minus 5 minutes in time of possession as Washington State just seemed to dominate.
Sounds like he was channeling Steve Spurrier.
Yeah.
Get me the ball back for my offense.
It did. C.J. Gable. He'll take the opening kick of the second half. Gets hit hard as he gets up to the 18-yard or 22-yard line. And he's back. Mike Grace on the stop. Here's the scoring summary. That made it a 7-3 game, and then USC goes up 14-3 as Chauncey Washington barrels in from a couple out. Then Jason Hill. The touchdown reception, 2-point conversion was no good. And that's where we stand right now, Charles.
And don't expect USC to all of a sudden come out of the locker room and go, my God, we're only in a 2-point ball game. We've got to score. We've got to go crazy. They'll continue to run their offense and try and use the running game.
Moody will run the play action. Looking into the flat. Pass is complete to the tight end, Fred Davis. He gets up over the 30 to the 31-yard line. It'll be second down and about 3 to play.
He's got nice hands, doesn't he?
Boy, he does. You know, and here's a guy that came there as a wide receiver back in 04. He was homesick. Remember that his freshman year?
Yes, he actually missed the national championship game.
Yeah.
You know, they were worried about this guy. They were starting to run out of patience with him. Sounds like he's turned a corner. A real asset for them on the offensive side of the ball.
Chauncey Washington alone in the backfield. Around at the 32-yard line, needed to get up to the 34-yard line. Steve Dildine made the first hit. 6 tackles already tonight. The senior from Graham, Washington, out of Bethel High School.
I think the Washington State defensive line has done a good job all evening, Ron, at the point of attack.
Oh, yes.
I think they've held up pretty well against the USC running game. That's allowed you to call the names of Steve Dildine and Scott Davis and Greg Trent cleaning up behind the play.
And don't forget, I.E. Amu, the big left tackle, defensive tackle, is out for Washington State.
Aaron Johnson, number 40, has replaced him.
On 1st and 10, play action again. Booty looking down the sideline, overthrown Fred Davis. They wanted to get the ball to him. They wanted to find ways to get it to him. They have tonight. Not that time, though. Our 1st and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. Now this Cougar defense, pretty good so far this year. Last year they were just horrendous, but they were piecemeal together. It was duct tape and baling wire, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And look at the numbers of how they've dropped in a year. Just 3 touchdown passes given up thus far, 27 all of last season.
On 2nd and 10, an empty backfield for the Trojans. Moody looking down the middle for the tight end again. Davis incomplete. Penalty flag is thrown. But that was on the near side. Tyron Brackenridge was, I'm not sure if he was involved in it or what, but that's where it came from.
And it came real late from the backside. David Abrams, the field judge, I believe, threw it. He's got offensive pass interference.
Maybe on Stephon Johnson. Oh, my.
I got to tell you, to me, that flag shouldn't be thrown. You know why? Tyron Brackenridge initiated the contact.
Because he
Number
broke
12.
down?
He came right up and delivered the blow. I mean, they both got it, but he came up and he went to, to jam and deliver the blow. I guess they called
Pass
it.
interference on the offense. 10-yard penalty, previous spot, still second down.
Maybe it's because the contact having the ball was in the air. But look, see who delivers the blow first? And then Stephon Johnson wins after that. I'm a little baffled, especially with the ball being so far away from that play.
Fourth penalty for USC for 50 yards. Second down and 25. 3 men down for Washington State. The Cougs start to back off. They only rush 3. Booty has time. Patrick Turner tries to outrun the defense, gets up to the 29-yard line. That'll bring up a third down. Greg Trent has 7 tackles tonight.
On the tackle, number 52.
Washington State has been traditionally pretty good on third down situations on defense. I think this is a crucial, I shouldn't say crucial, it's real early. This is a key third down for them now to try and get the football back. Remember, USC got the ball to start this half. Washington State wants to continue to have the momentum. Going to a 3-4 look. They want to force a punt out of this.
We have penalty flags. Washington State was offside. Pass is complete. Up to the 42-yard line. It'll be about 2 yards short of the first down. Patrick Turner out of the reception. His 4th catch of the night.
See if they got pulled off or if they jumped into the neutral zone at the snap again.
It was close. I think they jumped off. Well, Rob Akey, the defensive coordinator, that Bill Dova, head coach.
It's a killer because they would have forced a punt right there.
Yeah.
Now you get probably another third and about 10?
It'd be 3rd and 10. Pete's talking to the referee. They're trying to. The linesman, he's down on the side. They're deciding what they want to do.
Offside on the defense, number 94. 5-yard penalty, previous spot, still third down.
Top of the screen, number 94, Christo Bruce. See him? And the ball snapped while he's in the neutral zone. A lot of teams use what they call freeze play, Ron, where they catch a guy in the neutral zone, you just snap it, and the quarterback goes down on a knee. In that situation, USC went ahead and ran the play.
Fred Davis, the tight end, comes back into the ball game. 3rd down and 10. Brad Walker goes wide to the right. Patrick Turner.
I wonder if Rob Akey might heat him up here a little bit and try and bring some pressure.
Got Davis. Here he comes. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Well, Akey doesn't like to do that too often, I don't think, but boy, he came hard that time.
Yeah, I like the changeup on the call by Rob Akey. Terrific. John David Booty trying to throw that slant pattern again, right in his face. Is that Lance Brodus, number 9?
Yeah.
See him getting the paw up. We talked earlier in the game how USC teaches it so well. How about that time by Washington State?
Fair catch is being called right at the 20-yard line, 45 yards on the kick. That's from Michael Bumpus. We'll stop it. 12:08 to play in quarter number 3. 14-12 USC by 2. Welcome back to Pullman, Washington. Along with Craig Sager and Charles Davis, I'm Ron Thula. Number 2 USC holding on to the 14-12 lead. Washington takes over 1st and 10 from their own 21-yard line. They have done it so well tonight. It's just keeping that USC pressure off them. USC brings 5. Bouncing out to the outside, Husana may have picked up a couple on the play. Well, fans, it's time for our Aflac trivia question. The question is, what school in a BCS conference has the smallest stadium?
Oh, can we give them hints? Can we help them out?
Yeah.
Is that a possibility?
I think we can give them hints.
All right, what about, think ACC?
Yeah, I think at least 2 ACC.
I think 2 in the ACC. And
one thing, Pete Rose.
A new addition, a recent addition to the Big East.
Yeah. Of course, this stadium seats just about 35. Dwight Tardy in the backfield after the pickup of 3. Brink will change the play. 2 to snap, and he has to burn a timeout. And USC coaches started throwing their hands up in the air. They loved it.
Yeah, anytime you can make them blow a timeout this early in the half, you feel as a defense that that's a big win for you.
Now Bill Doba's going to talk about it with his troops. They trail by 2. College football on TBS, brought to you by the all-new Hyundai Santa Fe. Rethink everything. And by American Airlines. We know why you fly. We're American Airlines. Absolutely perfect night here in Pullman, Washington. A fabulous sunset. Temperatures probably in the 60s now. Washington State facing 2nd and 7 from their own 24. Yet to turn the ball over tonight.
It is beautiful here. I think I could live here, Ronnie.
That's the first time you said that this year.
This place is gorgeous.
Nicest people anywhere. Fakes the pitch, throws it out to the outside. Pass is complete, up to the 30, first down. Again, Michael Bumpus, but do not call him a possession receiver.
Yeah, he's a chain mover in the parlance of the Washington State coaching staff. They decided they didn't want to call them possession receivers because they thought that was a negative image. It limited what they do. Chain movers, meaning they pick up first downs. Pinball Bumpus did exactly that out there one-on-one with Dallas Sartz. And it's exactly what he did, move the chains for the Cougars.
Now it's a pickup of 10. That's his career average, as a matter of fact, on receptions. So it's 1st and 10 inside of 11 minutes. Ball's on the 34.
He's having a terrific year. Came into the game with 24 catches already.
He's got 8 already tonight. Tardy cuts back against the grain, bounces to the outside, cuts back in, gets up to the 40. That's called making lemonade out of lemons, isn't it, Charles?
It is, and what they're doing is they just want USC to move a step or two in the opposite direction of where they want to go. See how they just misdirected them? And then Dwight Tardy used his eyes to find where the seam was and busted it up in there for a gain of about 6 yards.
8 rushes, 49 yards for Tardy. You can see what USC's done. First 3 games, 217. Washington State already 218 tonight.
They exceeded the numbers in both of those categories.
Great. Goes for the fly route down the side. Has a man off the fingertips of Jason Hill. Kerry Harris, I should say, on the coverage. I thought he was going to lay out and pull that one in.
Me too, and it was a nice one-on-one route recognized by Alex Brink. Terrific move off the line of scrimmage, and he laid it out there to try and get Jason Hill to go for it. And exactly what he did, just a little bit too much. Oh, what an effort by Jason Hill, and I still think it was a well-thrown ball by Alex Brink. Just a tad too much on it.
Did it look like USC was in a nickel in that?
No, I think they were in a nickel coverage.
Yeah, they are now.
And as Alex Brink recognized, he had one-on-one to the top side.
Yeah, Brian Cushing's come out. They have gone into the nickel. They rush forward. They're trying to come from the backside. Brink buying time. Throwing pass incomplete. Gibson got a hand on it, but pushed out of bounds. Good coverage. Kevin Thomas was right there on the play. That brings up a 4th down and 4 for Washington State.
No, it's been good, though, about Washington State. Even when they're 3 and out, USC is not creating turnovers, right?
That's right.
Craig Sager talked about that earlier. The aggressive ball hawks that USC has been over the years. Tonight, they have not created a turnover with their defense. They've intercepted a ball in 44 of the last 52 games, Ron. That hasn't happened either.
Well, USC's got 10 on the line, and here they come in a bunch. Blunt to Desmond Reed. Big, booming kick. Hits. Down right on the goal line. No, what are they going to say? Waiting for the official signal. Oh, they're going to put it at the 1. Unofficially a 59-yard kick. Those are the little things that can change the game around, Charles.
Exactly. You're not going to ask for a better punt by Darrell Blunt, the punter. And look at that great coverage. Yes, and he's got possession before he steps on the line. That's why the ball's placed where it is for USC. What a terrific job of coverage down there. Number 15, Benny Ward, a backup wide receiver. Great job.
Well, Bill Doba giving him a little attaboy. Now let's see if they can do anything with it. With 16 seconds, John David Booty comes into the huddle to 16 to snap.
This is a time, Ron, where my old defense coordinator Larry Marmee used to talk about get a safety, try and penetrate, get in the gaps, and get a big play in the backfield.
And we've got a whistle.
It's under review about. I thought he might have had possession before he stepped in. That's probably what they're reviewing about the punt on the punt.
Mm-hmm.
And what a killer that would be if they're able to get off the shadow of their goal line.
Well, that was smart then for John David to take his time going out there.
Hey, you don't hang around 4 years and not play and not learn a few things, right?
Once again, this is not a challenge. This is under review. Okay, Pete Carroll didn't challenge it.
So he's catching it. And right about there, he's starting to go, and now he's touching the white line of the goal line, trying to do the toe tap. Watch. Let's see. Ball's caught. All right. Possession. Foot on the line. Right there. See the foot on the line.
Yeah.
See, and here, don't forget this. Here's something we always have to keep in mind. We can slow it down so well that we can tell what the real deal is.
Yeah.
But at absolute game speed to the naked eye, that's a very difficult call.
And I think we have to make a point too. There's been some confusion. The guys in the booth do get our feed. They're seeing. They can call for the feeds. They call it Maceo Grant in our truck and tell them what the feed is.
There is no video evidence to change the ruling on the field. Therefore, the ruling stands. USC ball, first down and 10.
Well, what do you think, partner?
I kind of think it's the right call because in order to overturn it, it's got to be conclusive, right?
Right.
Remember, bang, bang.
Now, here's a little key, too. There's no camera right on the goal line on that play. There was no camera right on the goal line, so that makes it hard. It's going to be loud. First and 10, ball on the 1.
Here's where I think the defensive line thinks about knifing into the gaps to try and create a big play.
Maybe getting about a foot or two.
And then Christo Bruce, number 94, was close.
Oh, yeah.
His mitts on the running back in the end zone. Watch Bruce, 94. Penetrates past Fred Davis, number 83. See that?
Yeah. Second down and 10. And again, it's loud as Smith comes to the near side.
Will Pete Carroll gamble here and throw one?
Looking at Smith, he's on a go route. Moody throws it up in the air. Pass. Penalty flag is thrown at the 28-yard line. I think Abdullah was on the coverage.
See him work on Don Turner, number 25, and Abdullah coming over late. Gets into him just a little bit. See.
Pass interference on the defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
You know what hurt him worse than anything?
Didn't turn around.
Never saw his head snap back because, frankly, I thought it was pretty good coverage. You know, I think it was such a borderline play there. I'm not so sure he got there early, but the appearance was, and his head was never back. He never saw the ball. That always hurts you when the referee's looking at you.
Well, Bill Dobin knows that one got away from him because it's put out to the 16, and it's first and 10 now for the Trojans. Moody and Washington in the backfield again together. Moody looking for a block, cuts inside. Here he goes. He's got room as he crosses the 50. Being chased as he's pulled down from behind at the 35.
It's the blocking outside, the receivers. All right, they always talk about catching the ball. Steve Smith, number 2. Might have got away with a little bit of a hold there, but what a great cut by Moody inside. And then when he reverses field, good job by Brackenridge spilling it back inside, which allowed Greg Trent, number 52, to run it down a 48-yard gallop for Emmanuel Moody.
That's the longest of his collegiate career. And they're in Washington State territory. Moody, penalty flag is thrown as he is sacked. Lance Brodus, the junior out of Woodland Hills, California, Taft High School, comes up with a sack. He's got 2.5 now on the year, but we do have a penalty flag. And it's going to be a hold against the Trojans.
Right side of your screen, number 9. Broda's working on the All-American Sam Baker. Terrific spin move inside. Great job, because when you beat Baker, you've done something.
Number 79. Penalties decline. Down will be 2.
I'm really surprised that he got called for holding.
Yeah.
He never had a chance on that play. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to make a joke here, but Lance Broda spun inside so quickly. I'm not sure he had a chance to grab any cloth.
There you can see the sack comparison, 20 already, 3rd in the NCAA for Washington State. USC's now allowed 6 this year, 2 tonight. Washington in the backfield, 2nd and 16. Again the play action. They throw it back to Fred Davis. Tripped up as he gets to about the 38-yard line. Tyron Brackenridge. He's got 5 stops this evening, already an interception.
What a nice play on the corner, because as this play unfolds, it becomes Tyron Brackenridge, number 12, against the tight end, Fred Davis. Open field, one-on-one, and he puts the big fella down.
And he rolls.
Because if not, we're coming up probably with about 3rd and short.
Yeah.
Instead of 3rd and 11.
Now Brad Walker, Steve Smith wide to the right. 3rd down and 11. Washington tripped up right at the line of scrimmage. And Christo Bruce again on the stop. He has 5 this evening to go along with the sack.
You know, I know a lot of people won't like that call from USC, but actually it takes an element of courage to make that call. What I mean by that is that you know they're coming after you, right? You know the brush is coming. Sometimes you call that draw and it pops and you look like a genius. Instead, you end up with 4th in favorable position. And the way Pete Carroll does things, you go for it.
You go for it. Well, they're 2 of 5 on 4th down tonight. Brittingham, the fullback, wide to the right.
This is Smith right here in the slot. He's their go-to.
And Fred Davis to the right. Booty looks, fires, caught. Smith, 1st down, Trojan, the 25-yard line. Greg Trent was one-on-one with him. That's a tough cover for the sophomore.
And what Lane Kiffin did was put his guy, number 2, in a great position. Because you mentioned it, Ron, he made a linebacker match up with him in the coverage. Because even if it's not man-to-man, he put him in an area where a linebacker would have responsibility for him. That's nice play calling by USC.
Pick up with 12 on the play. Once again, they've had the pass interference. And that play on 4th down and 10. 1st and 10 from the 24 for USC. Booty looking, still looking, firing, pass complete at the 13-yard line. Again, it is Steve Smith. 6 receptions, over 120 yards tonight for the senior.
You know what was nice about that throw? Is that John David Booty made a decision that either my receiver's going to catch this or no one is.
Yeah.
Nice elusiveness by John David Booty, getting out of the pocket, squaring and throwing against his body. And he made it to where only Steve Smith had an opportunity to catch the ball because he had number 37, Eric Frampton, on his back.
He has more yards receiving tonight than he did for the previous 3 games. Washington straight ahead running. Down to about the 7-yard line. You know, you talk about Steve Smith. We talked about him. But here's a guy that does all the little things. And we've been watching him tonight. He has good routes. He makes the tough catches, which we've just seen. He combines speed and hands. You know, Steve Smith just does about everything.
He does, and he does it well, but he has to do it quietly. Before Dwayne Jarrett, there was Mike Williams here that Steve Smith had to be overshadowed by. Gary Colbert was here. Now he thinks he has a chance to shine. Here comes Jarrett.
Yeah.
So tonight is his night.
5 wide receivers set now for the Trojans on 2nd and 6 from the 7. Booty over the middle. Touchdown, USC, Steve Smith.
USC to Steve Smith, number 2. On the pass from John David Booty.
His 2nd touchdown reception of the year, 1st of the night.
Okay. Here's your matchup. right there. Steve Smith on the linebacker, Greg Trent, because Lane Kiffin spread things out. So now he's set to go. He's just going to work an inside route, and he's got it right there. Because once he went past one linebacker, he just had a second one. Inside route, easy throw, 6 points.
And the extra point is true.
The extra point is good.
USC 9-play drive, 99 yards, capped off with Steve Smith, second touchdown reception of the year. Steve Smith having an incredible night, 7 receptions, 142 yards. He came into the night with 12 receptions and 129 yards. And I wonder if Dwayne Jarrett's all of a sudden getting real healthy back home in Los Angeles.
Well, you know he's happy for his teammate, and what he thinks at home is, when I get healthy and come back, now we've got Steve on track too.
Yeah.
We can really wreak some havoc in the secondary.
He had 3 receptions for 32 yards on that drive alone, which once again covered 99 yards. After the great punt coverage, key play, of course, was the 4th down and also the pass interference. And again, the kick will go out of the end zone. Let's check in with Mark Fine with some Big Ten highlights. Mark.
Oh, big-time football, Ron. Let's start with number 6, Michigan and Minnesota, playing for that little brown jug. Chad Henne to Mario Manningham. These two finally hook up, 42 yards. Henne 11 of 13, 172 yards in the first half. They're up big. Ohio State, number 1 team in the country, but they're getting all they can handle from Iowa. Number 13, that's Albert Young with the touchdown, 21-10 Ohio State, guys.
All right, Mark, thanks very much. You keep us posted on all the scores. Very important possession for Washington State. That's great. Goes deep. Looks for a man penalty flag. Another pass interference. Bumpus the intended receiver. Kerry Harris trying to get position on him.
This is similar to the play that we saw go against Hussein Abdullah. See how Kerry Harris never finds the football?
Pass interference on the defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty, previous spot, automatic first down.
One thing to keep in mind, in college, you don't have to find the football. In other words, you can face guard all you want.
Right.
You don't have to turn and do it. But what they called Kerry Harris for was contact underneath on the receiver while the ball was in the air.
How about 3 of the 4 starters in the secondary have a pass interference call against them this evening?
That's pretty unusual.
Very
Think
unusual.
about it. Pretty unusual. Nick Holt, new defensive coordinator, former head coach at Idaho. Happy to be back in Trojan gear, but he'd sure like to see his defense create a turnover.
Well, it's 1st and 10. Ball's moved up to the 35 with 4 minutes to play in the third. We'll try that little cutback run. Harris is the one who penetrated, made the stop. Fans, it's time now for our Aflac Trivia question. Answer. Our question was, what school in a BCS conference? Now remember that. That's the smallest stadium. I think you and I agree on this one, Charles.
Yeah, am I thinking Wake Forest?
Wake Forest.
Grove Stadium?
31-5. Martin Stadium's 35-17. If I'm not mistaken, Duke is probably in there. Cincinnati's in there.
Yeah, well, those are the ones. Remember, BCS conference was the key.
Great. Throws it out short of the first down to Jason Hill. Terrell Thomas did a nice job of keeping him, I think, from that first down. It's going to be awfully close.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the few times when that outside move after the catch may have cost you what you were seeking. See, if Jason Hill catches it and continues back inside, he might have a chance to slide his shoulders forward for the first down. But he flipped. He kind of baseball turned outside. That allowed the defender to tackle him just a little bit shy of the first down marker.
Well, they need about, I'd say, a foot.
Think quarterback sneak here?
I think that'd be smart. Well, I'd take the chance. Woolridge is in the backfield. Oh, they're going to try the handoff. He's got the first down. It breaks into the secondary, lowers the shoulder, gets down to the 42-yard line. Bill Doba told us yesterday that's what makes his running backs so good. They're not afraid to initiate the contact and run into people.
Earlier in the game, you alluded to DeMondre Woolridge as a Robert Newhouse clone. Look at these thighs. See that? They hit him in the legs, and he just plows right through that one. I mean, you're trying to stop him. You've got to hit him in the body square and wait for help. 14 yards on that aggressive run.
And it's 1st and 10. Ball's at the 42-yard line. This time, nothing doing. The SC defense stacks him up. Mamaluga on the stop. He has 5 tackles tonight. He is such a monster. This young man, you see the underneath his eye, he's got R.I.P. Dad. His dad passed away. It's been this young man is quiet and shy, but boy, when he gets on the football field, he is an animal.
Yeah, he lost his father, Talatonu, last year, late in the season. And he's playing every play for him. And Bill Doba told us what he said. Hell, 58 jumps out of the screen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Boy.
In fact, his dad died 2 days before they played Texas. Break, a little play action, looking for somebody. The deep out route caught again by Michael Bumpus. Ellison on the coverage, but Bumpus able to get down to the 16-yard line. What a throw, though, by Alex Brink. 24 yards on the play.
Hey, Pards, how about a little syncopated rhythm here? Look at him, inside, then outside, little post corner move, well-thrown ball. Watch the throw, and look at the protection. So you had everything. You had the protection, you had the throw, you had the catch. Everything worked well on that play for the Cougars.
9 receptions for Bumpus tonight, and now the Cougs are answering.
How about my man Pinball?
There you go. Tardy may have gotten down to the 14-yard line. Kerry Harris, 6 tackles on the evening.
Yeah, that was a little corner blitz. Kerry Harris coming from the short field, trying to get into the backfield. See Bill Doba, the head coach of Washington State, he knows how crucial this drive is. You mentioned it at the start of the drive, Ron. The key, we thought, was not just to get a 3 and out.
Yeah.
You know? Instead, they may get a whole lot more here.
Norris Dillon now goes wide to the left. 2nd and 8 from the 14. Here comes the pressure. Brink sees it, throws it into the end zone, incomplete. Jason Hill, the intended receiver, he wanted to get a holding call against him, not going to get it. That was smart, though, by Brink, because he felt the pressure. Just get rid of it where nobody can catch it.
Yeah, that's a good observation, because he just used all the arm he had, threw it on out of the stadium. Didn't give it a chance to become a jump ball and possibly tipped it in the air and intercepted.
You know, Bill Doba, it's been a tough year for him. Lost his wife, of course, Judy, after a 4-year battle with ovarian cancer, and this has been his solitude. His refuge is football. And the players understand that. 3rd down and 8 from the 14. Brink has to step up. Dumps it off into the flat to Tardy. Gets to the 5-yard line. Knocked out of bounds. They'll mark it at about the 3.5. Dallas Sart's on the stop. That'll be good for a 1st and goal.
How can you not like Alex Brink and what he's done tonight? Never gets flustered in the pocket. See how he just moves? Realizes there's nothing downfield, finds his safety valve, and while it wasn't the prettiest throw in the world, it sure looks nice once the ball ends up on the 3-yard line, doesn't it?
18 to 32, 165 yards, and a touchdown. 1st and goal from the 3.
He's answering the critics about his play in big games tonight.
Looking, goes for the corner pattern again, overthrown, pass intended for Brandon Gibson. Gibson just got turned around.
I think the ball went to the wrong shoulder, because this is the same route that Jason Hill beat for a touchdown. And he had Terrell Thomas again, but see how he threw it to the outside? Yeah. Right there on that play, Brandon Gibson thought the ball would come over the inside shoulder. And then when he had to turn outside, it took him a while to locate it.
30 seconds left in quarter number 3. 2nd and goal from the 3. Gibson goes wide to the left. Jason Hill on the near side. Tardy, straight ahead running, dumped. May have gotten down to the 2. Mamaluga again on the stop. He's got 6 tackles tonight. Just a sophomore out of Eureka, California.
I just don't think they can run the ball in here against USC. I think my man Pinball's got to be on the field. Michael Bumpus. Remember how Steve Smith was in the slot for USC, created a favorable matchup? I think maybe Mike Levenseller and Tim Rosenbaum might think the same thing here as we head to the 4th quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, Alex Brink was very upset about something. He started to throw his hands at the sideline, was forced to use a timeout. Well, no, he didn't. It was the end of the quarter. Well, he wanted to get another playoff, but he's still going to have it. 3rd down and goal from the 3. Head to quarter number 4. USC leading by 9, 21-12. Welcome back to TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbis. We get set to start the 4th and final quarter. USC leading 21-12 along with Craig Sager, Charles Davis. I'm Ron Pullman. 3rd down and goal from the 3. This has got to be 2-down territory for Washington State.
Yeah, 5 bumpus.
Break, rolling, sees the end zone, puts his head down. He has stood up and spun around at the 3.
I think they got to kick the field goal, though, because it's going to be at least 3 yards. He's got to kick it. Fili Moala is the one who came up with the hit, the sophomore from Buena Park, California. I think if he's inside the 2, Ron, I think Bill Doba thinks about going for it. But here, you kick the field goal. You're only down 9 now. Get it into a touchdown. Get it to a touchdown range.
Well, Longley's got a couple already. Lauren Longley. You can see 2 for 2, both from 35 yards out. This is going to be a 20. Rogers the holder. Good snap. Falls down. Kick is good. Langley 3 for 3 tonight. Alex Brink has done his part tonight. He's been able to run. He's been able to throw successfully. And his team now trails the number 2 team by 6. Welcome back to Pullman, Washington. We have 14-13 left in the ball game. USC leading 21-15 after a field goal by that man. Lauren Langley, he's got 3 tonight. So much at stake for USC. They've got so many different records riding on it. Pac-10 wins in a row. They won 17 consecutive road games. Their last loss was to Cal back on September 27th, regular season, and in the Pac-10. Bradford loses the ball, still loose. Washington State dives for it. Let's see, the officials say they have it, but that was before the second scrum. They're going to pull people off.
Ball may change hands a number of times now.
Oh, yeah. Guys are playing a little grabby here. We've got a Washington State player down. In fact, the USC trainers are the first ones out, and they're calling for somebody to come out and help. No, USC's got the ball back. One official said, Mike Brittingham, I think, is the man who came up with it. One official had already pointed Washington State.
Didn't get the arms tucked underneath, and it slid right through. Kind of like a hockey goalie through the 5-hole through the legs. This time it's just through the arms. He tries to pick it up instead of falling on it. Takes the hit from Andy Mattingly, a backup linebacker. And right there, Washington State has the ball initially.
Yeah.
And the scrum underneath, USC came up with it.
Well, I saw it pop out after he had it. It popped out again. Well, the player is up and okay, which is good.
See, that's weight room time, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying Washington State hasn't put the time in that situation. Until that final whistle blows, you got to battle for the ball.
Booty. Looking, still looking, being chased, and he is going to be pulled down to the 16-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 3 on the play. Lance Brodus is the one who pulled him down. And look at the fumble again.
See, right there, Washington State's on the football. But there's no possession at that point. See, the ball to me was still moving around. And now we see how it's still sliding around.
You can see it.
It's right in there. So now it becomes who wins the battle until the official gets there. USC is fortunate.
That's the 3rd sack of the night for this Washington State defense. Brodus has 2 of them.
Now they forgot to pick up the kicking tee.
Something a little like that.
We're going to need a new manager. Someone just lost that responsibility.
Or a coach's son. Didn't run out.
Oops.
Well, 2nd down and 11. Loss of 1 on the play. Washington behind John David Booty. Tries to go outside, cuts back in, gets up to the 23-yard line. Now let's just take a look at our Hyundai drive of the game. We go back in possession. How about a 9-play, 99-yard drive? Took just over 5 minutes. Steve Smith was the hero, came up with a big fourth down catch and the touchdown. And don't forget, there was also the pass interference penalty on Abdullah.
Yeah, wasn't that drawn by Steve Smith?
Yeah, that's right.
He did a lot on that drive, and that's what got him out of the shadow of their goal line after the punt was killed dead around the 1-yard line.
Patrick Turner to the near side on 3rd down and 4. Booty looking, penalty flag thrown. Pass is incomplete, and that's going to be another penalty. We had to cut offsetting penalties.
Yeah, we might have that.
Because Corey Evans looked like he was just holding on to an USC wide receiver.
And it was great recognition by Booty to throw it right at Steve Smith when the holding was occurring.
Everybody's holding tonight.
I think both of these quarterbacks have shown a tremendous amount of savvy and poise this evening.
I agree.
See, watch. All right, there's a
foul on the play. Holding on the offense, number 66. Holding on the defense, number 38. Penalties offset. Still 3rd down.
And that was, again, John David Booty just threw it right at number 38, Evans, to say, hey, just in case you didn't see it.
Yeah, I'll throw it right at him.
Now you will.
Still 3rd and 4, ball's on the 23, inside of 13 minutes to play in the ball game. Play clock has not started yet. There it goes. Booty, straight drop, fires over the middle. Smith caught! Takes a licking, but he's got the first down. Eric Frampton lowered the boom on him, but he held on. What a catch by Smith again.
And bounced up. Bunch formation, Steve Smith works the middle of the field. You never worry about him. Wow, 16-yard gain.
Here's Craig Sager.
Well, big night for Steve Smith. We're going to see even more of him because Chris McCoy, the other wideout, who is subbing for the injured Dwayne Jarrett, injured as well. McCoy catching a pass late in the 2nd quarter, landed awkwardly, possible separated shoulder, x-rays when he gets back to LA.
All right, Saints. Little play action again. Dump it off to the tight end, Fred Davis. He gets up to the 45-yard line, pick up a 5. Hussein Abdullah, his 5th tackle tonight. But you just can't say enough about Steve Smith tonight, Charles. 8 catches, 158 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah, I think he's pretty much said, hey, you know, you Turner guys, in your open, you talked about replacing Dwayne Jarrett. You mentioned Patrick Turner. Coach Carroll mentions Ryan McCoy. Excuse me, not Ryan, but Chris McCoy.
Yep.
You forgot about me. I've been here all along.
Don't forget, he had a broken leg just a couple of years ago. 2nd down and 5. Washington spun around. It'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 2. Greg Trent, he's got 10 tackles tonight and 19 coming into the game.
Steve Smith's coming back into the ball game. I saw him pass John David Booty, and I'm sure John David Booty was like, all right, good to have you back out here.
Don't ever take a rest. Well, Emmanuel Moody is also checked into the backfield for USC. 3rd down and 3.
They put a lot of responsibility on John David Booty here in the 2nd half to make plays.
Everybody's on the near side. They get it back to Moody. He's got some blockers in front of him. Penalty flags thrown as he crosses the 50. They'll mark it at the 49. Tyrod Brackenridge went underneath to disrupt that play. But as it was developing, the yellow came out again. That'll be the 7th penalty against USC. They're averaging just a shade under 6 a ball game early on this year.
Based on where the flag was thrown, that's often someone wide blocking. And a wide receiver, tight end flexed out, someone pulling to the corner.
Did our man Steve Smith do something wrong tonight?
No, don't say it.
Just speculating.
Are you tugging on Superman's cape right now?
No. All the officials still having a confab.
The original foul on the field was for holding on the offense. However, it was determined that he did not grab the defender. Therefore, by rule, there was no foul. Disregard play.
Well, the Washington State, Bill Dove is out on the field. He wants to think about this here.
All right, there's Smith. He's got the arm extended. That's one reason you're talking about making that call.
He got some jersey there.
He's got him in front and he's got him in back.
He had a choice of penalties there.
Ron, Steve Smith got his money's worth and got away and got all of his money back.
Well, Bill Dove has got a right to be upset.
I agree totally.
I've never seen a holding call pulled off.
Rescinded?
Never. Booty looking, throwing, tipped. Incomplete. Corey Evans got a piece of it, the sophomore out of Lena, Louisiana.
You know, USC is seeking the big strike. You know, they're trying to get after it, but give Washington State's defense a lot of credit. Ever since Smith broke free earlier in the ball game, they've done a much better job downfield on the deep ball.
Smith and Turner wide to the left. Second down and 10, 10 and a half to play. Vidal Hazelton the near side. They throw it out far side. Turner tries to get something, gets down to the 45 to the 44-yard line, brings up a third down. Our first and 10 line is brought to you by Napa. USC will need 5 for that. Steve Dildine was on the stop, 7 tackles tonight.
Done a good job on third down this evening, haven't they?
Third down, 6 of 10 tonight for USC.
Including that big 4th and 10 that led to their last touchdown. But I've noticed they've been doing it, putting the ball in the hands of John David Booty to make the plays. A tight bunch formation again.
Gable cuts back against the green. He'll be short of the first down by about a yard and a half. Trent, 11 tackles tonight from that middle linebacker spot.
Don't be surprised if he goes for it again. 4th and short. He likes the field position.
Well, John David Booty is not coming out. They were successful, we saw, on a Hyundai drive of the game on 4th down. They're going to go for it again. It's 4th and 2. Everybody standing at Martin Stadium.
Yeah, Washington is the tailback. He's the thumper. Actually has a fullback in front of him this time.
Well, John David's going to call a timeout. And the junior from Shreveport, Louisiana, is going to go talk to his coach. Has a big smile on his face. His team leads about 6. College football on TBS, brought to you by KFC. Everyone's cheering for the new Ultimate Cheese Snacker. Your dollar goes further at KFC. They're good. By Vegas.com for the best deals on Vegas rooms, shows, and more. Book now at Vegas.com. By Napa. Get the good stuff. Napa. And by Levi's, the original. Find your style at Levi'sStore.com. Our situation is this: 4th down and 2 from the 41. USC going for it.
Steve Smith, top of the screen if they want to go play action, but maybe they put it on their offensive line.
They'll go and play action. They dump it off short. Smith reaches for the first down, and he's got it. It's going to be close, but I think he got it. Michael Willis tripped him up.
I think you've got excellent eyes, because I think he's got it by at least a little bit of the football.
They're going to measure it. But where he leaned and reached forward, he should have it. He's well over the 39, he's about the 38 and 3/4 line.
I think there's got enough to have it.
I think he's at least a football.
If I'm USC, I'm thinking my next play call right here, because there will be a little bit of disappointment on the Washington State side if they pick this up. You might want to think about striking right at them.
It looked like a good spot by the officials. He's got it by football. It looked like a pretty good spot.
See, if I'm SC right now, if I'm Lane Kiffin, there's a natural little letdown on a big 4th down, especially with the build-up in the tight end. The timeout. Just running him across traffic, and then he catches it, and then right there, they go low, Stays up, and reaches out. Good job reaching out.
I want to see where this
Watch here.
is.
He's just going to come right in here, and that's where Booty's going to hit him. And then he has to break the tackle in order to get the first down.
Well, he came up quickly to make the stop. He gets hit, and he reached out. Back to live action. They keep it on the ground. Straight ahead running with C.J. Gable, the true freshman. Got the start versus Arkansas. Clock runs, 8:35 to play.
They're mixing in just enough of a running game right now that Washington State has to continue to respect it.
Not many trick, gimmick defenses by Washington State. They just been playing them straight up for the most part. 2nd and 7. Yeah. Another first down for USC inside the 30 down to the 27-yard line. Chauncey Washington on the carry. Let's take a look at the New York Life stat of the night. And our stat of the night is yards per play. How about USC? 6.6. Washington State just under 5. New York Life has been protecting families for over 160 years. Now that's a winning stat.
And really, both stats are winning stats. Washington State nearly 5 yards of play.
Yeah.
You'll take that.
Absolutely.
2nd and 5 for your play calling.
They're closing in on 300 yards. 287, I think, is the most anybody's gotten against USC this year. That was Arkansas. 1st and 10. Booty looking. Pass. Is it caught? No. Incomplete, they're saying, at the 15-yard line. Fred Davis dove for it. You know, we talk about what they're getting on per play. How about 3rd down, 7.4? Plus, they got a couple of plus 20-yard plays.
Yes. And 3rd down, money down, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
You get the sense now, you know, Ron, we came into this game, we figured Washington State would throw the ball to run it. USC has shown the ability tonight to do the same thing. As this game is worn on, I'm seeing them throwing the ball in order to try and create running lanes as opposed to the opposite.
Steve Smith, Brad Walker on the near side, Patrick Turner far side. They'll run it. Washington. Greg Trent, 13 tackles on the evening. Washington gets inside the 25, down about the 24-yard line.
See, right now, Lane Kiffin is throwing on rundowns, 1st and 10. He's running on throwdowns, 2nd and 10, throwing downs. See, have you noticed kind of a little first down? He likes to throw the football. Even on 2nd and 10, he's not daunted, and he'll come back at you with the run.
Yeah, Fred Davis checked back in along with Emmanuel Moody. They'll go with an empty backfield, 3 wide receivers left.
And this is Moody, the running back.
Turner's in the slot. He's looking over the middle. Scott Smith again. Looks to the 10. Penalty flag is thrown as he gets down to the 8-yard line. I think the penalty may be on the freshman Emmanuel Moody. Let's see.
But that'll be a first down and long, right? Because he picked up the first down on this play?
Yes.
I mean, it's real shock he found Steve Smith in that situation.
Yeah, real shock. How about 10 catches for Steve Smith?
At the end of the play. Yes, right there. Number 26, Emmanuel Moody, blocking the back on Tyron Brackenridge. Nice call. Line judge, Jeff Robinson.
Illegal block in the back on the offense, number 26. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, down to still 3.
Well, USC is going to know they've been in a battle tonight.
So is it 3rd down and short?
3rd down and short, it should be.
So they brought it back, didn't pick up the first down.
No, 3rd down and less than a yard. Actually, they probably need about, looks like about 6 inches.
Hey, with USC, this isn't necessarily a rundown, is it?
No, why not?
Because I think Pete Carroll would think I'd go for it on 4th down if I don't get it here. But he is gaping a fullback in the backfield, Brittingham, number 30.
And Washington got the first down. They're trying to hold on to him for dear life as he works his way down to the 10. Hussein Abdullah on the stop.
You know they're singing over on the USC sideline right now, don't you? John Sebastian's favorite hit, Welcome Back.
Welcome back.
Chauncey Washington. He's had the pulled hamstring, 2 years missed due to academics. And you said it at the top of the show, Ron. He's had his best week of practice this fall.
Yep.
He's running awfully hard tonight.
This is going to be the 17th play of this drive. It started at the 14-13 mark. They've held the ball over 8 minutes on this drive alone, and possession time is equal now. Moody looking for Smith, finding Smith, touchdown Smith. Ten receptions, 175 yards, 2 touchdowns now for Steve Smith. Make that 186 yards.
He's absolutely fearless, Ron. They keep isolating him in the middle of the field versus linebackers in their recovered responsibility area. That was Steve Dildine, number 49. And boy, was that a well-thrown football. Great route, excellent throw, touchdown Trojans.
And now they're saying it's his 11th catch of the night. He had 12 coming in tonight. It's not bad. You go from 12 to 23 in one night.
I gotta tell you, it seems like 22 catches.
Oh, he's been all over.
He's made every big catch this evening.
And Mario Dinello's extra point is good. It's been the Steve Smith Show, the senior from Canoga Park, California. 11 catches, 186 yards, and 2 touchdowns. USC's trying to get their Pac-10 winning streak up another notch and their road winning streak up another notch, but they've been in a battle tonight with the Cougars from Washington State. 28-15 is the score right now. We've got 5:52 to play in the ball game. That drive lasted about 8:21 on 17 plays for USC.
I think that's the biggest key, Ron, is how much time they took off the clock and paid it off with a score.
Not a lot of kickoff returns today. That'll win the split the uprights. Let's check in with Mark Fine with a little Kansas, Nebraska.
Yeah, Ron, these guys have been playing for 101 years. It's an old rivalry. Zach Taylor for Nebraska, the number 21 team in the country, looking, throwing, and he finds France Hardy. 24-19. Nebraska now with the lead over Kansas, guys.
All right, thanks a lot. Of course, Kansas won last year, broke a long-time losing skid to the Cornhuskers. Now, if you're Washington State, Charles, do you have the tendency of just starting to air it out, which is not your game, and how you've been successful tonight, which could backfire on you?
But you've got to up the tempo no matter what. Doesn't mean, I'm with you, it doesn't mean you got to go out and just go crazy and play a little flag football and fling it.
Yeah.
But you've got to up the tempo at the line of scrimmage and keep it moving. And I think they're going to, go without huddle now and try and keep their play calls going.
Now, both teams have 2 timeouts left, closing in on 5 minutes to play in the ball game. Great has played exceptional tonight. Flips it out to the outside. Jason Hill on the reception. His 6th toss, the catch of the game, and that is a first down. Early in the game, we gave you our Orbit's keys to the game for Washington State. Let's update them on it.
Well, we started out with them with show and tell, right? A lot of formations, a lot of motion. We've seen that, but look at the yardage that's generated, 292 total yards. Start and finish. 0 turnovers, 3 points in the first quarter. They did just fine on the start. Now they need to finish. Already know Trent Edwards and Christo Bruce, 5 sacks last week against the Stanford quarterback. 1 tonight, but he's played a really nice football game overall.
It's 1st and 10. Brink goes over the middle. Pass is caught by Cody Boyd, the tight end. 2nd reception. It goes down to the 45-yard line. 25 yards on the pickup.
Yeah, Ken Norton Jr. and Rocky Seto, the linebacker and DB coach respectively for USC. I know what they'll be working on this week. Location of the football while it's in the air.
Boyd's a big target at 6'8", former basketball player. He posted up on that one. Brink going long. Caught inside the 20-yard line. Brandon Gibson. Kevin Thomas on the coverage.
See, to me, this is back-to-back plays where the defensive back and the linebacker don't know the ball's there until it's too late. Hard for them to locate it. Kevin Thomas was trying to play through the receiver's arms when he thought the ball was arriving. A really nice throw by Alex Brink.
Gibson on the near side. They run it. Straight ahead, running down to the 5-yard line is Dwight Tardy. That'll be another first down, 1st and goal after the pickup of 11. 4:42 to play in the ball game.
Do you get the sense that USC exhaled a little bit after that last touchdown and thought they might have deflated Washington State a bit? And Washington State is showing a great heart tonight, right back at them, and not using that much clock.
You saw what they've done in the red zone. A touchdown and 3 field goals. First and goal from the 5. Brink looking, has time. Goes to the corner of the end zone, and there's nobody there. Gibson was the closest person to it. Second and goal from the 5. This is tough yardage against this quick USC defense.
And not only that, your field is condensed now.
Oh, yeah.
So now running by a defensive back is not really an option. You have to be a little more physical in your route to make sure you get separation in order to catch the football.
Ben Rollins trying to get the tire back on. Blew a shoe there. That's ugly.
That's not a good get. That's not a good way to be pass blocking because you won't have traction.
Oh, they're going to have to use a timeout.
Washington University, timeout.
And they'll have 1 timeout left with 4:24 to play in the ball game. Remember how they had to burn a time? You know, they burned 1 timeout in the the second half. They burned another. We'll be back. USC leading by 13, but Washington State knocking on the door.
Ever wonder where to find the funniest commercials on the internet? Yeah. Well, wonder no more. Log on to veryfunnyads.com and revel in the commercialism, including ones that are too racy for the U.S.
Where did you learn how to do that? From your brother.
Second and goal from the 5 for Washington State.
There's Bumpus. That's Bumpus right there.
He goes up to the line and changes the play. Play a time snap at 17. Almost bobbled the snap. Penalty flag is thrown. Nope, play's not going to count. No touchdown. White Tardy celebrating a little too early. There was some jumping, it looked like. That is just brutal.
Before the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And coming out of a timeout.
I know.
Let's see where it is.
Yeah, Center didn't snap it.
Wow, because you would have had Root 74 and Harris 55 jumping.
Yeah.
They were. It sounds like they seemed like they were on the snap count. Ball came up a little bit late.
Well, if you looked,
make sure freshman at center Kenny Alford.
Well, you look like Brink seemed to almost bobble the snap. He was pulling back before he got it. So now they're back on the 10-yard line. Second and goal from the 10.
Bumpus is in the slot, top of the screen.
Tardy's in the backfield. Here comes the pressure. They get it out to Tardy. He's got some room for the pylon. Do they call it? Do they call it? Touchdown, Washington State.
Love the call by Tim Rosenbaum. He showed all of his receivers to one side and threw it backside to his running back, Dwight Tardy, and what an extension and effort to get into the end zone for the touchdown for the Cougars.
The ball within 6, the extra point, and it is good. One more look. The redshirt freshman, first receiving touchdown of the year.
What a great job. But watch the extension and the effort by Tardy. Determined to get it into the end zone before Taylor Mays can bump him off. And the Washington State Cougars have cut it to a 6-point lead. The good thing, 4:18 still left on the clock. Didn't they start at like 6:36 with the football?
Yes, they did.
Only 1:34 on that one. The downside, they've used 2 timeouts.
That's right. He needs some water. It's just such a heads-up play by a redshirt freshman to look for that pylon and make sure that ball gets inside of that.
What I loved was the call first.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the idea of looking to Bumpus's side, Jason Hill's side, those are your proven playmakers, and then throwing it backside to Dwight Tardy. That's a great call by Tim Rosenbaum, the quarterback's coach, who makes all the calls for Washington State.
Too early for onside kick, huh?
See, I think so because, field position, 4:18 still left. 1 3 and out gets you the ball back, even though you're down to just 1 timeout.
This is going to be about 2 yards deep. C.J. Gable's bringing it out. Gets Gets up to the 20-yard line. They're trying to strip the ball as he gets up to the 27-yard line. Steve Dildine, another tackle. Now we showed you the Washington State keys and how we updated them. Let's do the same for USC.
Well, coming into the game, we had thought that the defense never rested for USC. It hadn't thus far this year. But tonight, it's rested a little bit. Washington State's run the ball well and thrown the ball well. Look at that, 131 rush yards. The Super Doppler says big strikes tonight. Well, they have had 391 total yards. That's pretty good. And introducing who will step up for Dwayne Jarrett, it's Ben Steve Smith.
366 total yards for Washington State tonight. Thompson in motion. Booty's going to put it up. Looking, pass is tipped in the air, incomplete. And Christo Bruce again. He has a sack, he has a pass batted down, and about 5 tackles.
You know, Turner Sports does a lot of NBA basketball, don't they? And you're always hearing the term, that defender is long in basketball. And Christo Bruce was long on that play and stopped the clock in addition to batting the ball away.
2nd down and 10. Chauncey Washington to the 33-yard line. That'll be about 3rd down and 4. Scott Davis penetrated on that, caused the play to disrupt. How about that? Last couple of drives for USC, 182 yards, but 26 plays over 13 and a half minutes.
But they really, really need to get 4 more downs right here. If they're punting the ball away to Washington State with this much time left, Alex Brink's in a pretty good rhythm right now for the Cougars.
3rd down and 5. Washington State showing blitz. Booty, the quick look in, caught at the 40-yard line, 1st down, Patrick Turner. His 5th reception of the evening.
At USC, they don't ask you to step up, they expect you to step up. And earlier in the game, Patrick Turner was having his issues, trying to fill the shoes of Dwayne Jarrett, but there could not have been a better time for a nice 8-yard completion for the sophomore from Tennessee.
Well, Lane Kiffin calls him the next great wide receiver at USC.
That was one to build on right there.
He had 4 receptions for the year. He's got 5 tonight. Fresh set of downs for USC, 2:45 to play. Now they'll keep it on the ground. Nothing doing, no gain. Mike Grace on the stop, a sophomore out of Inglewood, California.
And you go back to that completion to Patrick Turner. Not only was it a nice catch by the sophomore who's had his issues this evening, but how sharply thrown was that football by John David Booty. And I think they made the point for me that I've been saying most of the second half. They've asked John David Booty to take this game in his hands a lot this half.
Ticking away at 2 minutes. Only 1 timeout left for Washington State. Turner goes wide to the left. To the snap, and they get it off. Washington State surrounds him. He's going to lose a couple on the play with 1:50 to play. Corey Evans on the stop.
Washington State hoping to hold on to the last timeout on the offensive end. They won't call it now. They're going to try and make USC punt before they think about that timeout.
Remember, they're averaging 7.5 yards on 3rd down. They need 5 more than that. They need 12.
It's the ball game right here for Washington State on 3rd and 12.
Smith will go in the slot. Walker to his right. Washington in the backfield. Washington stuffed at the 40-yard line. It's 4th down.
Timeout. They need it.
And they will call a timeout. 68 seconds left in the ball game. Let's take you back a couple of years. The USC Trojans trail Washington State by 6 late in the game. Carson Palmer connected on a 55-yard TD with Mike Williams that tied it. Ryan Killeen missed the ensuing point after. And also missed a 52-yard field goal in overtime, but Cougars kicker Drew Dunning connected on a 35-yarder. Washington State won at 30-27. That was the last time they beat the USC.
Isn't that the same Drew Dunning that Craig Sager gave us in the top of the show, where he said he flew in to work with Lauren Langley, the field goal kicker here at Washington State.
Now they're going to kick it away. Now punt returns are not the forte of Washington State. They're 106th in the NCAA for Vildoba. But what you want to do now is just make sure you field it cleanly.
You know, I got to tell you, Ron, I would not be surprised if they go after it. And I'll tell you why. You just mentioned it. They're not that great so far in returning, even though Michael Bumpus has a career average of 13.6. Field position kills you. You're out of timeouts if you let the ball get all the way to the other end. You might think hard about going after it right here to try and make the play you need.
Greg Wojtnik is only a sophomore. He hasn't had a punt block this year. This will be his 4th punt of the night. Snapper is Will Collins. The high snap. Oh, boy, Charles, if they would have taken your advice. Bumpus will fair catch it at the 23-yard line, 37 yards on the kick. And I tell you what, Wojtnik saved disaster on that play. Once again, the clock will start once they get the ready signal.
Well, once they mark it ready. Right now, the chain crew. Don't think the chain crew doesn't live in this area. They're not moving all that fast, are they?
Good point.
You know, that's part of having a home stadium, but Washington State on the line, ready to go, well coached.
Great. Flat, caught. Bumpus. Out of bounds. Clock will stop. It only took 5 seconds.
Everything is sidelines unless it's a first down play. In other words, if you can get a first down, the clock will stop to set the chains. But you don't make the extra move and pick up yards and stay in bounds. You're getting out of bounds now if you're Washington State.
10 catches for Michael Bumpus. Pickup of 7, 2nd and 3. USC rushes 4, no. Penalty flags.
I think Washington State may have jumped.
I think it was the snap again.
Might have been a little movement. They've had issues in the shotgun snap all year.
Prior to the snap, illegal snap on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
What they mean by that probably is they're probably saying he moved the ball first. See?
There it is, yeah.
And then he see how it's moving, and then he's snapping it. You can't do that in order to draw the defense off sides. Nice pickup by the officials. Tough one for Washington State.
Kenny Alfred out of Gig Harbor, Washington, the center. Mr. Redshirt freshman, 2nd down and 8, 59 to play. Brink throws it into the flat, pass incomplete, intended for Jason Hill. Stick around for the Dodge post-game report. Mark Fine will catch you up on all of today's action around the country. We've had some pretty good football games. None better than this one, though. 3rd down and 8 for Bill Doba's squad.
And now for Pete Carroll and Nick Holt in tandem on defense. Do you rush Alex Brink with more than 4 here?
Well, they only have 4 on the line.
They're
right
showing
now.
4. See if anyone runs into it late. No.
Nobody does. They back off a little bit. Brink over the middle. Pop. Cody Boyd, the tight end. 1st down for Washington State. 50 seconds left. Clock stopped. Brink gets him up to the line quickly.
See, USC's personality is to go get you. The personality is not to lay back very much. I wouldn't be surprised if they change up at some point and try and get to Brink.
Brink in the flat. Hill makes the catch. Gets down to the 50-yard line. Clock is running. It'll stop for the change of the sticks. 1st and 10, 39 to play.
See, what Nick Holt and Pete Carroll have going for them, his field goal range doesn't matter. It has to be a touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
But a touchdown and extra point beat them as the clock begins to tick.
30 seconds to play. Brink steps up, throws, passes, tipped, almost intercepted, incomplete. Dallas Sartz is the one who got his hand on it, playing in front of all his family, some of which are Washington State grads.
Yeah, grandfather was a Golden Gloves boxer here at Wazoo. Nice job by Dallas Sartz, sinking into coverage and almost coming up with a game-ending interception.
2nd down and 10, 25 seconds. They need 50 yards.
USC put a fresh pass rusher on the field, and Jeff Schweiger, number 54. That's his forte.
Brake steps up, looks, throws the deep out, pass is tipped again, incomplete. Great coverage by Terrell Thomas of USC. Bumpus was the intended receiver, 19 seconds left.
Terrell Thomas beaten for a touchdown earlier by Jason Hill. As you said, great coverage. And if Ray Mamaluga does not come into the play, I think he comes down with the ball he tipped.
Yeah, that's a good point. 19 seconds left for Bildova. Bumpus is in the slot, top of your screen. Here comes the rush. They've got Brake. He throws it away. Incomplete, but we have a penalty flag with 14 seconds left. Chris Barrett, Fila Moala are the ones who put the pressure on Alex Brake.
Yeah, see, USC had it both ways. Either they were going to get the sack, and the clock goes, or they get the penalty and move them back 15. I think they'll be moving them back because the Hail Mary comes into play.
On the offense, number 60, 10-yard penalty, previous spot, still third down.
See, now, Ron, you got to think Hail Mary soon because there's only 14 on the clock and no timeouts. If you leave it up near midfield, Alex Brink might have enough arm for that. You move it back, right? Now we're going to really test out his arm.
Well, it's third down and 20, but that's elementary at this point since there's only 14 left. Here comes the pressure again. Brink runs away from it. Throws over the middle, caught. First down, Washington State inside the 40. Michael Bumpus with 5 seconds left.
See, and the clock stops. It sets the chains. That gives you the chance to throw the last Hail Mary. That's how crucial the first down was. If he doesn't get the first down, time probably runs out before they can run another play.
They'll spike it, and that's what he does. 2 seconds go off the clock. This will be it. One last play.
See, they got to go victory and throw it in the end zone now. Pete Carroll's going with his victory defense. He's not concerned about the rush. He's concerned about getting the ball batted down deep in the end zone. Oh boy, Michael Bumpus getting that first down, Ron, gave them this opportunity. If he doesn't get the first down, the clock runs out trying to get up to the line of scrimmage.
Bumpus 11 catches, 112 yards, but it's come down to this. 3 wide receivers wide to the right. 3-man rush. Brake looking, throws. Ball intercepted. USC, they win the ball game. Taylor Mays, the true freshman, his first collegiate interception. USC will walk out of Pullman with a 28-22 win. Let's look at that last play of the game.
That was the old Big Ben, beat the clock, whatever you want to call it, Hail Mary. They gave it an effort. Taylor Mays, the freshman, they had it well covered. All you want to do is either bat it down or intercept it, and he gets the interception and pads his stats, and USC wins.
Our Vegas.com player of the game is Steve Smith. 11 receptions, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. How about 2 fourth-down catches for Steve Smith? An incredible night for him, part of the 404 yards offense by USC. He's with Craig Sager right now.
Well, Steve, a great job offensively, but tell us how difficult it was to be on the sidelines when this game went down to 1 play.
It was tough, man. I wanted to get out there and get in the game, play some defense, but I trust our defense, and we made it happen.
A couple of touchdowns last year against Washington State, but this team needs you more today than ever, especially with the injury to Dwayne Jarrett and also Chris McFoy going out. Tell us a little bit about your big game today.
It was just, working hard in practice, getting our timing down with the quarterbacks, and the coaches trusted in me and called the plays.
On the winning drive, there was a holding call apparently called on you that they rescinded. Tell us about that play and how surprised you were that they rescinded it.
Oh, man, I was pretty upset. I thought I just made a decent block, and luckily the refs saw what I did, and they changed the call.
25 consecutive Pac-10 wins now. Tell us a bit about how much this one means.
This is big, coming to a hostile environment, making big-time plays on the road, without our star player is huge for us.
Well, you're a star player tonight. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, man.
Ron?
All right, Greg, 418 yards for Washington State, but they come up on the short end of the stick, 28-22. 99 yards alone on third down for USC tonight. You've been watching TBS Saturday Night College Football presented by Orbitz. Be sure to tune in TBS next Saturday at 7 o'clock Eastern. The Missouri Tigers travel to Lubbock, Texas to take on the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. For Charles Davis, Craig saying good night from Pullman, Washington. Final score again, USC winning it 28-22. Now it's time for the Dodge postgame show with Mark Fine.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. Wow, what a game. I thought we might see some history there. I was looking for Doug Flutie. Where is he when you need him? Again, the final, USC 28-22. Welcome back to the Dodge post-game report. Let's get you caught up on everything else. You know, 2 years ago, Ohio State got beat up at Iowa, 33-7. It was the worst loss for Coach Jim Tressel with the Buckeyes. It was also a turning point. Troy Smith saw his first action at quarterback, and he says that after that game, those players knew they never wanted to feel like that again. Well, they get another shot at Iowa, in Iowa, and Troy Smith, 12 yards to Anthony Gonzalez, 7-0. They take the early lead. How about the running game? Antonio Pittman, 109 yards thus far in this one. There's the touchdown, makes it 14-3. Buckeyes, 14-10. We got a game, but well, they've still got Troy Smith. Nice pass there to Roy Hall, 21-10. And then what might be the play of the day, Troy Smith to Anthony Gonzalez, and check this out, almost falls down, keeps his balance, runs backward, goes to the sideline, gets a huge block, breaks the tackle, gets out, I'm tired, he finally scores, 28-10. Buckeyes, they were about to score when we started our postgame show. Here it is, still 28-10. End of the third. Troy Smith came in with a 66% passing rating, 884 yards. He's got 164 more, 3 more touchdowns, 11 total now on the season. Iowa now coming into this game 0-7-1 against teams that rank number 1 in the country. So looks like they will fail to get a win against number 1 yet again. Number 6, Michigan in action against Minnesota. That's Twins catcher Joe Mauer. Looking for a little brown jug, probably. That's what they play for in this game. Chad Henne to Adrian Arrington, 16 yards, 7-0 Wolverines. These two would hook up one more time. Actually, it was the next touchdown of the game. Henne to Arrington again, 37 yards this time, a little longer, 14-0 Wolverines. Henne, well, the guy he's been looking for most of the season, Mario Manningham. He finds him here. Nice play action. Manningham, 42 yards. 21-7 Wolverines. Henne now 17-23, 257 yards, and the 3 touchdowns in this. Maybe the best player in the country that people really aren't talking about, Michael Hart, running back for Michigan, now 28 carries for 136 yards in this one. Again, they're playing for the Little Brown Jug, the oldest trophy in all of college football. Number 9, Georgia taking on Ole Miss. Ole Miss special teams coming up big. They blocked the punt of Gordon Eli Kelso and wind up with the ball on Georgia's 10-yard line. Well, the ensuing possession, Joshua Shane, 22-yard field goal. Folks, that's about all we got for you in this one. Defensive battle, 3-0 Ole Miss. You know, the story for Georgia is at quarterback Joe Tereshinski out with the injury. Last week, Matthew Stafford got the start. Joe Cox came in, did very well, led them in a come-from-behind victory over Colorado, completing 10 of 13 passes, 2 touchdowns. Well, these two guys combined now, Cox and Stafford, 5 of 15 for just 28 yards passing in this game. Alabama at number 5, Florida. And oh, it's a big celebration. Coach Spurrier wearing his favorite shirt as he gets inducted to Florida's Ring of Fame. No score in the first. Quarterback Chris Leakle not looking like he's the quarterback for the number 5 team in the country. The snap off his helmet. Prince Hall picks it up, and the big man is going to go. 51 yards. Huffing and puffing all the way. I'm sure 7-0, roll tide. Chris Leak trying to make amends. Little swing pass to Andre Caldwell, and Caldwell going to take it 16 yards for the score. Yes, they would review that. It stood 14-10 Florida. This is the proverbial nail in the coffin here. John Parker Wilson's 3rd interception of the day. Reggie Nelson's 4th interception in 5 games for Florida. Takes it all the way in for the score, 28-13. Florida with a very big win. 7 straight wins now for the Gators. First time since 1998 that they've won 7 in a row. 12 straight at home. And how about Coach Urban Meyer, 10-0 at home as head coach at Florida. Their next 3 games, how about LSU, Auburn, and Georgia? Never easy in the SEC. Houston and Miami, the Hurricanes playing outside of the top 25 for the first time since 1999. Kevin Cole scores. We're tied at 7. Could Houston come up with a big win? Well, Jackie Battle, not a big play here. He fumbles. Miami recovers. Houston with a 13-7 lead, but the Hurricanes with a shot. Kyle Wright, 2-yard pass to James Bryant, 14-13. Man, the Hurricanes, it's a win, but 14-13 really over Houston. Javaris James, maybe he's the future freshman running back for Miami, 148 yards, breaking Clinton Portis's freshman rushing record. This game, well, planes were overhead. Planes carrying messages to fire Larry Coker. Raise the money online, Miami fans. That's what it's like in Miami these days. Again, USC, a big winner over Washington State. When we come back, though, we're going high-tech. Ba-tech, ga-tech. Matchup of two top 25 teams. Keep it here on the Dodge Post-Game Report.
You're watching the Dodge Post-Game Report. Dodge, you can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns.
Mark Pond back in Atlanta with your Dodge post-game report. Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech, number 10 in the country. Reggie Ball looking for Calvin Johnson. Why not? Frank Beamer says he's probably the best receiver he's ever faced. Chan Gailey says he's the best he's ever coached, college or pro. Second touchdown of the game, 14-0 Georgia Tech. They ran it as well. Tashard Choice, 105 yards rushing, 21-0 Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech made it close, but the defense getting involved for the Yellow Jackets as well. Philip Wheeler with the sack, Gary Guyton returning it for the score, 38 yards, 38-27. Georgia Tech with a monumental win. They are now the only Coastal Division ACC team without a loss. Inside track for that ACC title. You know, Virginia Tech won this game 51-7 last year. They also came in with the second-rated defense in the country, allowing just one rushing touchdown and one passing touchdown. They allowed 2 of each in this game. Again, big win for Georgia Tech. Mississippi State at number 10, LSU. Jamarcus Russell, the story here, to Craig Davis, 7-0 Tigers. Russell again, this time looking for early Doucette. At one point, he completed 14 straight passes. That ties a school record. This is 37 yards for the score, 21-0. Let's show you Russell one more time. 330 yards passing. That's a career high. This made it 35-0. They win it by the final of 48-17. Mississippi State got 14 yards rushing in the game. LSU scored a touchdown on each of its first 5 series. The only thing that could stop them, a thunderstorm to delay the game for about an hour. All right, number 12, Oregon at Arizona State. Dennis Dixon. Short little pass to Jordan Kent. Over 200 yards passing. 3 touchdowns for Dixon. 48-13. Oregon rolls in this one. Of course, this is their first game since that big controversial win. Dirk Cutter now 2-18 against ranked teams for Arizona State. Ducks get Cal next. That should be a great game. Rudy Carpenter for Arizona State led the nation in passing efficiency last year. 33 yards and an interception in this one. Purdue and number 14 Notre Dame. Notre Dame still trying to work their way back up those rankings. Darius Walker did his job. Plenty of carries and plenty of yards in this one. 14 yards for the score there. They're up 14-7. Brady Quinn to Raymond McKnight. 21-7. And how about a little trickeration for the Fighting Irish? You don't see this from Charlie Weiss too often. Jeff Samardzija on the fake field goal, 28-7. Quinn to McKnight again, the 2 hooking up to make it 35-14. This one, Irish obviously just rolling. Purdue's 7-game winning streak comes to an end. The final 35-21. Darius Walker, I said he got the job done. How about 30 carries for 146 yards and a touchdown? 4th straight game that Notre Dame has played a team without a loss. Their schedule, you know, folks talking about how easy it's going to be for them from here on out. They've played tough teams at the beginning of this season. Straight ahead, a little something we call no huddle highlights. Huddle, we don't need no stinking huddle. We got some great highlights straight ahead. Keep it here on the Dodge Post-Game Report.
Motherly love is unconditional.
No wife, no children.
Well, at least it should be.
Pathetic.
That's a whole lot of Raymond. Beginning tomorrow at 6 on TBS.
If there were a store in your town called Peace of Mind, would you pay it a visit? Across America, in towns big and small, There is such a place, New York Life. It starts with our values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity, and continues with our agents. So look for us in your town. You may already know our people, and we are confident that peace of mind is why New York Life is the company you keep.
We got a sandwich with a lot of meat and a sandwich with not so much meat.
With the Quiznos, you can tell that there's meat in there because it's like busting out of the sub.
That's prime rib. A prime rib, that's the king of all the meats.
I can't see it, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I cannot see the meat in a Subway sandwich. Oh, I see it!
Yeah, it's a little package different.
Meat,
no meat.
Take the new Quiznos Prime Rib Cheesesteak Challenge. If you're not 100% satisfied, you'll get a free sub. Only from Quiznos. Toasty.
Hi, I'm the person who didn't save hundreds of dollars by switching car insurance. Yep, I'm the guy. Must be, because every day they tell me about a bazillion people who switched on TV, radio, billboards.
They show me entire stadiums worth of people who switched.
But Progressive Direct shows you side-by-side comparisons of competitors' rates and services, so you can see if their services are worth the savings. Those gazillion people should call Progressive, because no one likes to be wrong. Think easier. Think Progressive.
For the best deals on Vegas rooms, shows, and more, just follow the arrow. Vegas.com. Do Vegas right.
Missouri, number 24, Texas Tech. Next Saturday at 7 Eastern on TBS Saturday Night College Football, presented by Orbex.
Yeah, Missouri's undefeated, and how about Texas Tech? Do they play exciting ball or what? Graham Harrell with 30 seconds left in the game to Robert Johnson. There's your game winner over Texas A&M, 31-27, the final. Texas Tech wins. All right, updating you on the other big games still underway. Ohio State, Troy Smith, 3 touchdown passes, Drew Tate 0. That tells the story there. Henny, 19-25, 290 for Michigan. That's the most yards he's thrown for since his freshman year. And Georgia Ole Miss, well, quarterback situation hurting the Bulldogs. They're hoping to get Joe Tereshinski back for Tennessee. How about our game? USC and Washington State. What a great one it was. John David Booty to Steve Smith. Smith with a monster game with Dwayne Jarrett out for USC. But Alex Brink to Dwight Tardy. It's 28-22. Last chance for Washington State. Oh, he heaves it up, Brink to the end zone, but didn't quite make the end zone, and USC intercepts. That's your ball game. The Trojans hang on 28-22. All right, time for your no huddle highlights. Let's run through it. Illinois, Michigan State, Ron Zook looking for his first Big Ten win. He's got the juice. Juice Williams to Jacob Willis. Willis breaks the tackle, and he's all by his lonesome. 7-3 Illinois with the lead, and they need their kicker, Jason Reed, at 39 yards, 23-20. Illinois gets the win. Colorado against Missouri. We told you we got Missouri and Texas Tech next week. Chase Daniel to Cody Kaufman, 14-3. Mizzou, Daniel again, this time looking for Jared Perry. Perry takes it in. Missouri wins it 28-13. Maine and Boston College. Maine's first game against a ranked Division I opponent ever. Andre Callender, 25 yards though for the score. Boston College wins it easy, 22-0. 22 Boise State taking on Utah. Jared Zabransky to Brandon Lau for the touchdown. Utah may be Boise State's toughest opponent of the season. They have no trouble. Vinny Peretta, 8 yards for the score, 36-3. Boise State gets the win. And Northwestern against Penn State. Tony Hunt, 14 yards out, gets them all, taking it in, 33-7 is your final. Well, time for our finest moments of the night. You know, every season college football fans are looking for, the latest Cinderella, a David to beat up on Goliath, if you will. In this week's edition of Mark's Finest, we're going to take a look at several teams you don't normally see in the top 5 at season's end, but who might just have a shot. We told you about Boise State, undefeated. They won't lose this season. They don't play anybody. Rutgers, first time in the top 25 since they wore leather helmets. How about Wake Forest, 5-0? They get Clemson next, though, so be a surprise if they get out of there unscathed. And Missouri, again, we've got them next week against Texas Tech. Should be a great game. Two potent teams. And we'll see if Missouri can remain undefeated. All right, that's going to do it for us. Again, USC a winner tonight over Washington State. We'll see you again next week.